Hello, everyone. Welcome out to episode 72 of Sunforged. How are we doing today, everybody?
Real good.
Real good? Did you say cold?
Okay, Joe.
You just say cold? The audacity of saying that.
I think it's like 70 degrees in here. It's too cold. I think I have to go get socks.
Okay. All right. What the heck? That's pretty messed up.
What's going on with you guys today?
You have a hoodie on?
Jeez.
It's so warm here, and I've had family around, and they were like, Joe, can you cook dinner? And I made a pasta bake in a boiling hot oven, and I was just genuine. There's probably sweat in it. I'm not gonna lie.
Make a pasta bake. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. So
How hot is it out there? I don't want to take away from anyone suffering. I am genuinely just curious how hot it is.
So it was 30 today, so that's probably around 90. But there's a whole trend.
AC.
There's a whole without
that's
AC.
Hot. That is hot.
It is hot, and there's a whole. You go.
British people don't have screens on their windows, so they can't open their
So
fucking windows
irritating.
without bugs coming in because what the fuck is wrong with you
It's so
guys?
backwards in your fucking
All I hear
silly
gets
little
trapped.
country in that way.
There's
dude,
a whole
I swear.
trend on like TikTok and stuff of Americans who made fun of British weather coming over here and experience our heat, and they're like, we don't understand. We have this heat back home, but it feels worse here. There's a mugginess to the Britain that just sucks.
Well, it's humid.
Yeah, it's really
wet as
humid.
hell.
It's just wet as
It's all
hell.
fucking damp all the
It's
time.
wet.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So
We
I'm
don't do
fine
well.
with it being 112 here because it's dry as fuck in
Yeah,
Arizona.
you just feel nice.
Dry heat
Yeah.
is so much
Dry
better.
heat's bearable.
Yeah.
Going as crazy.
No, I'm gonna go get those
but-
socks.
It's fucked up. Well, we got a full party again, so welcome out everyone to episode 72. We're here in Songrest finally, for those who missed it last week. We arrived...
Sam and Dodger have turned into furniture though
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
session.
they actually melted.
Cursed
They melted.
witch came through and cursed them both.
Oh, yeah. If you look closely, you see a frog on both their chairs.
Yes.
So once they get back, we'll get into it but properly. But before we do all that, does anyone have anything they want to shout out before we get started?
God, could you imagine if someone did?
That would be, yeah.
Asked once and someone did.
Honestly, the moment someone does, I'm kicking them out. It pissed me off. So
Damn.
we're on episode 72. We have a recap. Would someone like to read it? We're not going to get into any combat or anything at the beginning, so
It sucks because Sam really wanted to, and now he's not.
He was talking about it too.
We
he
can
was
wait till he
excited.
comes back.
We should wait until he gets
you want
back.
to wait?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can wait. We can chill and wait. That's
I'll
fine
be
by
back
me.
in like 2 seconds, I bet.
Yeah,
You reckon?
it'll be
Sam,
hit him
Sam.
with a hurry up, Sam, without any context, and he'll know it.
Do it
Sometimes-
He's so
Do it
excited.
through Steam though.
Oh, yeah.
Good, yeah.
That's so good, actually. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that would genuinely piss me off, dude. There's something concerning about that.
We're waiting for you, and then I'm gonna hit him with the Steam smiling emoji, which is that like really nasty dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keep happy.
It was bad.
Yeah, him with a few if you
Yeah,
have to.
he's gonna love it.
Occasionally, just put another minute every minute. You just put a new smiley in there.
Yeah.
So, whilst we wait for Sam, to give you guys an idea of what you missed in general, we are now here at Songrest. There is a decision being made to what your next paths are, which the group kind of spoke over. Obviously, we were a couple down, so V and Dross can give their input. But I imagine you're probably all going to think in tandem with the decisions made. But there is a chance for you to still talk to the NPCs you would have missed last week. So I know there's some element of interest there, as our 2 note takers were unavailable, and probably some lore drops happened.
It was rough out there.
Yeah. These guys had to remember things without the concept of pen and paper.
We didn't remember things. We just simply refused to call upon things because we knew we wouldn't be able to recollect them. So there was a lot of real moving fast with it, where we didn't really linger too much.
But in a nutshell, there are. You guys will have until tomorrow night for the attack or the kind of things you're going to be doing. So you do have a night with all of the rebels in Songrest to talk to anyone that you want to talk to or ask anything you want to ask about. I'm going to give Sam another maybe 20 seconds before we should probably get started. Otherwise, because he wanders. Sam could go into his kitchen and he can start making a pot noodle and sit down and watch a television show.
This is always the fucking thing, though. It's going to come back and he's going to say, ooh, my kid did this. My goose did this. My pigs did this thing. Like he could do whatever the fuck he wants, and then he can just pull out one of 50 different excuses.
He does have a deck of many excuses. You should give him that as a Christmas present. Just give him those little cards, which you just slap him out. Yeah, it's well, I say we get started so you guys can dive into the RP of it. We also have a little moment with Carlisle of what we're planning to do tonight as well, so we'll let's just dive into it. Sam will get the next one. We promise Sam will get next week's, and I'll make it twice as long. I'll make it in depth.
I know that the two people that missed last session were really excited to recap so they could figure out what happened. So maybe one of them should swing it back around.
I don't appreciate you speaking for me. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do it.
That must be the most. That's one of the most gutter I've ever had tomorrow laugh. You took on him with that one. That was good.
Hey,
Sam!
Oh, thank God.
Just in time for the recap, Sam. Nice. You've been promoted to recap master.
Let's do it.
I'm too cold.
Oh, gee.
Good chatter.
Every time OLG says she's too cold, I feel like she's Fortnite emoting on me.
Hello, what's up?
Hey, Sam. So everyone's designated you as the recap giver for this week.
Yep.
Cool. Who's everyone? And whose idea was it?
Tomato.
Yeah, that's it.
Tomato said something and everyone else just didn't want to read it, so they said yes.
Whoa. First of all, fuck you. You should read it. All right, that's what I think.
So he said it really convincingly, so Bree and I just thought it was a thing that you guys had already decided.
Okay, well, I'm going to say that Tomato should read it because that motherfucker never reads shit.
I'll get it next week, dude. All right, but you're already up for this one, okay? There's kind of a
number of times alone he's read an outro. Let me hear it. It's a fucking 0.
I don't know what that has to do about anything.
I'm just saying, man, your reading comprehension skills might be a bit lower than the rest of the group.
Here on this
guys,
guy? He's going
I don't control this place. All right, okay. I'm a passenger here.
I need someone to wrangle this guy.
Sam, I'll give you a choice. You got this week or next week?
Who's doing it this week if I do it next week?
Tomorrow.
It's gonna take another 20 minutes.
Sam.
What's up,
Joe
man?
is. Here's my logic. Let me tell you something that you need to hear. If you put it off to next week, Joe is going to give you the longest, fucking most convoluted recap ever because he now knows you're going to be reading it. All right, I'm saying this to you now as your friend.
He's your
biggest op. He hates you, man, and you know.
I think my biggest op put me in this position, which is you, man.
You need to read it this week.
Hey. I will incur a 9-paragraph essay of a recap next week just to watch you read this week.
You guys should trade off word for word. Read the recap together.
Go word for word.
No.
That's so
Buddy
cute.
system.
Oh, that's great.
I could do that. That could work.
Sure.
Anything to make sure Dodger's here in time to read the recap. Anything.
Sure.
She would save us, it's true.
Let's do that. Sure.
Do you want to do first word or do I do first word, man?
I'll do first
Do you want to
word,
take 20 minutes to decide? Oh.
This is a long recap for every other word. All right.
Lost.
We
Left.
off.
We
Finally
reached
our
destination
of
Songrest.
the
Town
had
recalled
all
its
crops.
and
People, I like to, sorry, I looked at how much more there was left and I started getting tired, guys.
it's bad.
Just get the fuck out of my way. The town had recalled all its crops and people within the walls, but the rebellion was founded within the docks outside. There in a warehouse basement, we were confronted with the leader of the rebellion, Lady Zonia. They needed to attack the town and take back everything, but to keep before they were found. They had 4 options, but would only be able to complete 2. Free prisoners from the mine.
The mine, sorry.
Mine.
Yeah, the mine. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Joseph.
Technically, you are freeing them. Yeah.
Kill the criminal guests or destroy the armory. The 2 we picked were to free the prisoners and kill the beasts. The attack would come tomorrow. For now, we rest. Meanwhile, Carlisle looked to disrupt things with the criminals. And that's okay, Dodger. Wait, no, that's just Joe talking to people. He didn't even like have the decency to format it in like the normal thing where he like boxes it in.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my way. It was so funny.
We were going snail's pace.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Just reading that down.
I was about to take the 5-minute break at the end of that. Bring it into things then. You have just kind of formulated the plans. The idea that you can only hit 2 of these targets on the attack night without the rest of the town being alerted from how much time it would take to kind of move between them. And the attack would kind of happen in tandem with your second option. But looking to kind of disrupt things, Carlisle looked to kind of go out there and sneak out tonight. I will say, on regards to that, if you are caught, if anything goes wrong on the night before the attack, there will be major consequences for the next day.
So for context, my thought wasn't that I was going to do something tonight because I didn't want to blow up stuff and put everyone on alert before anything. My thought was I would go to all of these places while flying and capable of being invisible at the same time and just scout all the spots so that we can see what we're going into, like as a party, maybe like on a map screen before we actually engage with this shit tomorrow.
Okay.
Was my logic.
Okay. That makes sense to me. In the meanwhile, to give you guys an idea of some of the people that are still involved here in the area that you would have come across, I know I saw a little post you made, LG, asking about the sign. One of the signposts that was come across that I didn't put in the recap because it's not necessarily relevant to what you guys are doing right now. The town of One Path, which is the town just prior to Songrest, had a signpost in place of where the town was. And the signpost read that the entire town, which was known for its magical, it was building a new magical school, new magical kind of exploration, had been moved to Winterfair. The entirety of the town had been moved to Winterfair. They basically put a massive teleportation circle down, and they've moved it. Which, potentially irrelevant for what you are doing now, though if you scroll up, you'll see it in the chat. Maybe a little bit in the last episode. I know it was posted in there at the time. But if not, I'll find it now. I'll tell you exactly what was read. But in the meanwhile, I should tell you this. You arrived in Songrest. The way in which you are dealing with the rebellion is they're located underneath the docks in the harbor. I see. They're in kind of dug out territories, and the town they're getting through to the town under the sewage. The town itself has been taken over by House Lepos years ago, and more recently, they've had Kios and his cultists come in and basically turn the town into one that is almost like an inquisition. They're going around stopping any rebellions, doing whatever they want, feeding people to horrible creatures, imprisoning those that even rebel in the slightest. It's kind of become very kind of totalitarian. It's locked down. Another thing that I missed off is Soman was captured, one of the second son of the House of Lepos, the house which hosted the party at Crown Heart Hall at the beginning of the campaign. Soman was captured by them on his way here. He was involved in the plot, along with his uncle Kevris, to take over Songrest all those years ago under the benefactor's call. Soman gave up everything. He also gave up that Lady Dahlia, which is the daughter of the Lepos family, is to be wed to the son here, Aaron, of House Tenir. They basically replaced the Zonia wedding with a new one. And that's coming the following day. She's going to be making her way here. She, if you remember, was already married. Not yet. She'll be arriving in a few days. She was already married to a knight from the Chalice Gardens that you met during when you first were named the Six in the Feywild tournament. He has since been killed, is what has been reported. Murdered by some ogres on the road. Ogres of which that your party flew over and avoided a confrontation of at the border gate, who were kind of guarding the border into Songrest. You skirted over the hills and avoided fighting them. So, here in the Rebellion camp, you have a few people of interest. Dockmaster Terramore was introduced. He's a black-shelled turtle looking like a snapping turtle. He's kind of... you learned that he is the one that smuggled out Lady Zonia all those years ago. And has been kind of keeping her hidden as a dock worker here, close in proximity to the town. Frezim Alder, who is the advisor now to Zonya, the old castellan of Songrest. He came from the Dread Vault. You learned that he was set up and framed for what they called the Rebellion of Songrest, which you know to be actually the House Lepos taking it over. You met briefly a Hazel, another changeling. Her family was lost when Kios arrived. She is taking the responsibility of pretending to be the representative of Kios. Kios sent down a representative to look over the docks to try and keep everyone in line. They had them killed, so she pretends to be a hobgoblin and reports back to Kios. Also, Tack's parent, along with the lady of the house and the son of the house, are within the keep. The keep of Songrest is up on a hill above the town itself. They're kind of kept in there. Tack's parent is the kind of spy going in and out, giving information. You've also got Loramil, the gnome scholar that came to Crown Hall in episode 1. A quirky kind of pirate smuggler called Yanelo Riskweather. He wears a mask of greed from the City of the Seven. In the City of the Seven, you wear the mask of the sin that you wish to commit. And then finally, Zaxis Thindalis, the Bastard of Beauty, is also present here, along with a series of different rebels and those waiting to attack the following night. So, with all of that exposition thrown out there, I ask here on the first night, the night before the attack, is there anything anyone you want to talk to? Anything you want to do?
Which one are we doing first?
Of your options on the attack?
Together?
Yeah, let's say for the sake of you all together right now.
Okay. Before we put things in motion, do you know, normally I have such good memory, and I think I was not quite paying full attention. I'm sorry, dears. When did Zaxis say that he arrived at Songrest? Do we know? Does anybody remember? Did we ask him?
No.
Oh, that's why I don't remember it then. That's all right. That's why I don't remember it. All right.
Usually you ask stuff like that, and you were just so quiet about it.
But then
sometimes, to be honest, I got a lot of stuff going on.
You make this face where as if I'm being quite rude when I ask things. But all right, do you mind?
Well, you ask the questions, and I'll look at what they answer and squint at them really hard. That's how we've always done. And you were so quiet earlier, and I didn't really understand why. Would anyone mind? Would it be all right if we went to perhaps talk to Zaxis and Carlisle could squint at him? It's just that. Do you remember that? Do you remember I sent him a message, right? And I said, "Oh, hello, dear. We're on our way to Songrest. I'm going to meet your friend." And he was like, "What did he say?" He said, why are you telling me that?"
Yes, he acted like we had never corresponded or planned anything.
Right. So I'm just a little nervous. Was that Zaxis? Was that not Zaxis? Is this Zaxis? Is this not Zaxis?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That feels a bit strange.
Yeah.
So, my apologies for not bringing it up. I think there was just a lot going on. Perhaps we could,
That's fair.
You know, sort of sidle our way into that conversation, see what he says?
Yeah.
I'll also tell you for the 4 options you have before you do that as well. For those 4 options that was picked, to give you an idea, the 4 options being free the prisoners from the mines, destroy the armory, kill the granary beast, and kill those of the Dread Vault. The reason the 2 were picked, which was the prisoners and the beast, is because a little bit of meta knowledge. Freeing the prisoners will reduce the amount of troops in the battle because more soldiers will be on the field fighting them elsewhere. Destroying the armory will just reduce the AC and armaments of the combatants, which the party decided we don't ever really worry about AC too much because you've got pretty high hit chance. The beast would be involved in the battle. It's very bad, having a creature that could slaughter things out there. You guys are experts at killing monsters. And then the Dreadful prisoners, you'll kind of get to. It's kind of, they might bolster the forces out in the battlefield, but you guys would be able to handle them, is the idea. So that's why those 2 were picked. So if you do have any discrepancy there and you want to be like, oh no, I think we should do this one, you can argue against them, for sure. But otherwise, that's
I should know if we decided on an order. For, like,
no
which
order
we
was
hit
decided
first.
yet, no.
I think the order hitting the granary first makes the most sense because that sounds the most important to deal with.
Yeah.
Do we have like a description of the beast?
No. So
Scary.
what you were
I don't
told
think anyone's
is
seen it.
one of Kios's first creations was thrown in there, and essentially now any creature which any person that's rebellious and doesn't have a use to the rebellion, used to Kios or those in the city, is thrown to that. So essentially, the old, the weak, the really, really rebellious who refuse to do anything in the mines are basically tossed there. It's used as a fear-mongering tactic. All people know is they hear screams coming from the granary and the kind of old mill inside the town.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Zaxis is in his own little kind of side room. These are all a series of tunnels. Imagine like a dugout and trenches, but much on a wider scale. It's kind of built into the ground. Also, kind of little outskirts into the sewage. You can see that kind of comes out into the sewage, and they've got little outcroppings and rooms in the sewage. So it's not the best smelling area for everyone, but it's safe, sound, and there's kind of sewers that lead underneath the town. What you also learned is that's how the best way to get into the town and kind of get around is going through the sewage and popping out some manholes. So, you want to go and approach Zaxis? He's in his kind of side room.
Yeah, before we go in, though, I'll telepathic bond us.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
If we could...
Yeah, you'd be able to kind of step into the side room. There's no doors here. They didn't really have the time to muster up those, so they you kind of walk into his makeshift bed area. He's kind of got like a little hammock that he's strewn up to like some almost like pistons and stuff on the wall, and he's kind of sat upright in his hammock, kind of awkwardly trying to keep his footing as he sits down, probably just like sharpening his sword, readying any stuff he needs for the next night. He looks up at you all as you're going to step in.
Hi, hello, dear. Sorry.
Yes.
We interrupting? Is this all right?
I've got nothing going on until tomorrow. I'll be a bit busy tomorrow night, though.
Of course, dear. I just thought maybe, we could sort of compare notes and sort of, see if we are... I just want to make sure we're not sort of missing anything. How long have you been here, dear?
Less than a week, days. President and I arrived late.
Oh, you arrived together?
I met him on the road.
Oh, where at?
Just past here. We'd all been given a message from this Kios. He had reached out to everyone from the Dreadful.
Yeah, it's like
this. Do we know that?
Yeah, can you say it?
That is A28.
He seems truthful.
Okay.
Or at least he's confident in what he's saying.
Sorry, Kios reached out to you. I'm sorry. How so, dear? Did he just sort of send you a message? Did you get a carrier pigeon? Oh.
It was not verbatim, but along the lines of he's giving sanctuary to those escapees as the dreadful wardens are hunting them down. If you seek sanctuary, come to Songrest. The town is theirs. They have armies. They will retaliate. They will hurt our enemies, kill them, and our missions and our goals will be united, essentially. We use that as a frame to get here and to get past the border gate.
Right. Interesting. When did he send that to everybody? Do you know?
Before I set out.
Well, you set out. And where did you set out from?
I was closer to where you last saw me, south of Marigold.
Oh. Right, where we saw you. So, sorry, I'm just trying to get my bearings around everything. What did you tell them? Wait, why did you leave? Sorry.
Leave the Queen?
Yes.
I went with some scouts. We wanted to start, trying to do some sort of reconnaissance on the city. I was hoping to talk to some of my old contacts there, but alas, most of them are gone by now.
Oh. That makes sense. It's just that I think she sort of glances over at Carlisle.
What if you say, like, what was it you said to me in that message? Or, like, something where we could catch if there's something off. I'm trying to think.
I have... The other thing I was thinking is that, I guess depending on how this questioning goes, I fully intended on sending a message and see what happens. Does that person get it? Right?
Yeah, that's a great
You could
way
also
to
just
tell.
ask him when was the last time we spoke, because that message would have been the last time and he wouldn't know it if it wasn't them.
I think she's tapping, her spell book nonstop during this, and I think she sort of pulls out a piece of paper, and she's got the dates marked of everything, right? Like we were here on this day, we were here on this day, right? Why do you think I have that? Do you remember when I sent you that message, dear?
Yes, whilst I was on the road.
You were already on the road. You were already on the road when I
believe so. I was setting out.
She says through the bond. Maybe I could look back at my notes. I know I messaged the queen after that, and I'm pretty sure she was like, actually, I don't know if I said was he right there, so maybe not. Right. So that would have put it on. She's searching through the days. Right. And then it took you for this long to get here. And you said Kiosk messaged you when, dear?
Around just before when you messaged us.
Just before, right, because then you were setting out. Interesting. And, sorry, do you remember about how long was that between when we left you and when you got that message? I'm just trying to get the timing right.
I can't be sure. I don't remember exactly, but days, maybe? A couple of days?
Days, maybe.
So, what are you trying to get to the bottom line of?
Well, you see, Zaxis dear, everything's important until it's not, right? Everything is relevant, and then at some point it becomes irrelevant, or it's relevant to something else, rather. And I'm just trying to determine the relevancy of sort of everything. And she's saying this, like, as if he would obviously understand that,
he's looking
right?
at me.
So, do you remember what I... Right, what did I say to you, dear, in the message? Do you remember?
I can't remember exactly, but you asked me, I think, where I was going. I told you. And then you were confused by that. I don't remember.
She sort of glances, she like shifts her eyes towards Carlisle.
Yeah, I am going to insight if if this seems like he's just kind of making something up because he's getting caught in something. 23.
He looks genuinely confused. He's trying to record.
Carlisle shrugs.
Refresh me, because the whole issue was, it seemed like he had forgotten a conversation we had in person where he told us to go.
He told us to go find his friend, and his friend was headed to Songrest.
So
and he was like,
does that not imply that the one we talked to in person was not Zaxis in that moment?
The first time we met him.
Yeah.
I think she turns a little bit. She's got the paper out,
So maybe we need to bring up that information.
What's that little smile, Joe?
Yeah, I know. So it's just smirking.
He did. That's the second time he's done that in the last 30 seconds.
Okay. Good timing.
Yay!
Okay.
Hi, Dodger.
Hello.
I was trying to drag it out.
We're trying to We're trying to catch Zaxis in a lie, or figure out if the one we met in person wasn't actually him because of that weird messaging moment that
Do you remember when I
had with
messaged him? Because I was trying to see who was alive and who was dead.
Yes.
And he was like, and I was like, what's up? We're gonna go find our friend in Songrest. And Drasa would never say what's up. I was like, hey man, we're just gonna go find your buddy. And he was like, that's weird. I don't know why you're telling me that. What? Like, and he had no idea what we were talking about. So we're talking to him right now. And we were like, wait, what happened? And he's like, oh yeah, Kiosk messaged us on the road and was like, or Kiosk messaged everybody from the Dreadball and was like, why don't you guys come to Songrest? It's super cool. And we're gonna like take over and be awesome and usher in the new world order or whatever he said.
Which is crazy.
And then I was like, but when did he message you that Zaxis doesn't have as good a memory, so he actually doesn't know, or he's bullshitting? And then he was like, I don't know, I met my best friend though on the road and everything was great.
Stresses me out because there is a point where I could almost step back and be like, what if this guy just fucking hates it when people send him sentences that could have been emails? You know what I mean?
Like, just like
100%.
So we're trying to catch him in that right now. So what I was saying is I kind of want to send a message to the person that I thought I was sending a message to the first time and see if this dude responds. But then also he's like, I don't get it. Why are you asking me like all of these questions? It seems like a lot.
It is kind of a lot.
But it's also like when
I put myself in the shoes of this guy, that's wild.
My thing is I cannot fault this guy for living to the standard I live to, which is I would have forgotten this conversation
I
immediately.
wouldn't remember any of this.
But
he'd be like, what the fuck? Where do these people get off?
She for sure is like, she for sure is like, this fucking shifty as fuck. How do people not remember the day that they had a conversation? So she's like, right. I'm sorry, dear. I'm just trying to put together the timeline, right, of how long has Chaos been here? Because if he messaged you on this day, but then we messaged you here, and then how long has he been in Songrest here? Do you know?
I wouldn't really know. Weeks? Maybe?
Weeks, and you were just here. Right.
He was rather on his way when he messaged us, or he was just arrived.
Right. All right. I think she just kind of starts pacing.
He's kind of he looks confused.
Him anything.
Sorry, am I in trouble in some way? Or what is?
Are we all here?
Yeah, and I have the telepathic bond up.
Should we just ask him if he what he remembers telling us in person? I think because that is the discrepancy potentially, right? That piece of information he told us.
Isn't the discrepancy the first time we met him?
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like what he told us in person versus what he said over the message are not aligning. Yeah. So that probably means someone was impersonating him in person.
It's just that I have a very good memory for things, and I'm a little confused on this point. Do you remember what you told us when we saw you with the Queen?
Not too much. Something along the lines of, there's more than meets the eye here, you know, to the Dread Warden, and there's innocent people in there, and...
It was not him.
Right. Interesting.
It was essentially that I was relying on the Queen to kind of get my own back, essentially. But...
If I insight, does it look like he's fucking like making up? That's a nat 1 on my insight. So I'm Corvallis.
I'm gonna say, Androssa keeps walking in front of his face whenever he's talking.
Yeah, right.
Fucking fly.
All kinds of dust down here.
I think he's telling the truth. I think that one exchange we had was someone else.
That or his memory has been modified.
Oh, true.
She stops.
Yeah. But why?
Yeah, she stops for a second. And she says, yes, right. Sorry, dear, it's not quite how I remember it.
What happened?
Hold on, let me just try something. I'm going to try to send a message to the person that I think was, right?
The one who told us the information.
Yeah.
That doesn't, Oh, boy.
So she kind of freezes in place, and she sends a message. And, she says, fuck, wait, I have to remember what I told him before. I said we were gonna be on our way to Songrest, right? And I was like, don't worry, we're gonna like find your buddy. And he was like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fucking all right, text me this next time.
Yeah, right. So, oh dear. Getting close to Songrest. Just thought I'd check in and see how you're doing. No sight of your dear friend yet.
Okay, he's getting that message.
Is he making that face?
What? Why are you saying that?
Just sort of like sighs.
Maybe we should just come out with it.
I think honestly we really just gotta be straightforward.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah. What?
So as I think she looks at Morgaine, but Morgaine can't see that, and so she just says over the telepathic bond, she's like, Sir Morgaine, Zaxis dear, that's not the conversation that we had. That's
what did we
not
speak
the
about?
message that we were coming here.
Oh shit.
And
Oh, did I send you off to Fresno?
Zaxis, what did you tell us when we saw
Morgaine will walk forward and touch him on the head, and Morgaine will say, "You're very forgetful, and stupid, or cursed." And I'm going to cast Remove Curse.
Or just stupid.
He's good.
Perfect.
Oh no! Will I know if Remove Curse worked?
Sure.
That's not really a condition of Remove Curse, is it?
I'll say yeah. Because you would probably see some sort of taint come off, but there was no curse. He goes,
he's just a vapid cunt.
You'll turn to the group and go, just dim.
Okay, damn.
He is like completely frozen.
He looks like a
Not
shit.
Frozen in rage.
Sorry about that. You and a dozen others I sent off to Fresno. So I hope it didn't cause you too much stress. He sits back.
Dude,
and in this
PTSD.
And in this moment,
like characters lying to us.
And in this moment,
for real,
I would like to pull back the curtain a second and say that.
Oh my god.
You forgot.
I forgot when you first messaged him. And
that was all I had possibility.
Then I did not spend that spell slot.
What a fucking waste
you
of our...
forgot that. It's still in mine.
We were smiling when we were like, how can we hold NPCs to this standard? Because he fucked up.
Sometimes.
Draw some fucking inspiration or something for that.
I'm happy to do that. I'm just going to say, sometimes, right, there's a lot of improvisation going on.
No, that's
right. Most things I don't write down. I didn't remember at the time.
Yeah, but and then you actually hit people with the fucking. What are you talking about?
Well, here's the thing. A few days that happened. You guys said when that happened. You guys went, "That was strange. That wasn't what said." And I was like, I thought
you hit us with the who asked.
Yeah, well, because I completely forgot what he sent you guys on. So and then you guys were like, "That was strange," but it wasn't.
You gave us trauma.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Listen. Wait, let me speak. I got the floor for a second. I got the DM floor. Give me. So. When you first sent the message, I was like, you went, "Oh, that was strange," but you didn't really explore it too much. And then it was sessions afterwards, you were like, Zaxis is clearly being replaced. There's more going on here. Me as the DM, what am I going to do? I'm going to interrupt and go, "Oh, by the way, no, I just forgot." No. I'll let you ask a question. But you guys didn't send another message. You didn't send another message.
It's good DMing to let it cook, though.
Do you guys know what's weird about that, though?
What?
Is that Joe actually summarized what happened in the last episode for me. I said, "What did I miss?" And he bullet pointed things out. And I said, "Okay, did they ask Zaxis what was up with the message? How he didn't remember us going to Songrest? Also, how many days passed?" And he said, "Nay, maybe a single day or two."
Yeah.
And the best you could come up with in a time when I reminded you what had happened, that this false fucking message happened. You had an entire day to come up with a plot point.
The plot point is this. Do you know what the plot point is? The plot point is he forgot. Okay.
I gave you
Here's me.
the fucking hint.
Okay, it's pretty funny.
My notes.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny that it's just a forgetful NPC and we.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna say we're overreacting here. The guys just did.
In character, it makes sense though because we are literally traumatized.
We are so traumatized and so paranoid.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to.
Really reasonable
because it was also funny for me.
You didn't memorize everything.
Yeah, it was also funny for me that this character could have forgotten a conversation he had with the group about 2 months ago.
Free, I cast Mordecai and Faithful Hound.
Carlisle doesn't remember half the people that were in the last room. He doesn't even memorize their names or commit it in any way.
Yeah, dude, in and out of character. Morgan doesn't remember the characters that were in the last room.
Yeah, I mean, I say in character so I don't have to like actually reveal the out of character. I didn't write all the names down.
It was just funny for me. It was funny for me to have a forgetful NPC.
We clear our memory for people when Joe listed off all of the NPCs in our town, and we're like, "Who the fuck are these people?"
Listen,
I mean, I knew.
When you have a party member that one takes notes well, but also simultaneously has a character that memorizes everything perpetually, I am not like compelled in any way.
I'm gonna pull up for last time before we get back into it, because we'll get back into it. I'll be honest with you, sometimes you guys will go, "Hey, how many days passed?" I go, "I don't know, 2." And I don't write that down. I don't need to write that down. Okay? I'll pass 2 days and we'll carry on from there because it's not important to me. But gee, we have a calendar, and she asked me a question. I don't know.
I made a calendar. And then I was like, but every 8 days we have to do a bastard turn. You're like, fuck, then I guess it wasn't 8 days.
God.
Yeah, you know.
We're pulling back the curtain, and I don't like it. We need to close the
Yeah.
curtain.
Now the curtain's closed. Okay. Everything is planned. Everything's written down.
She's frozen in rage for free. She casts Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound just to see is there any fucking censors or anything watching us have this conversation.
Listening.
No.
Now she's fully fucking paranoid.
No. You are safe and sound here.
90% of our spell slots.
She pets her.
He looks up and he just goes.
It was for free.
He looks up and he goes, oh, sorry, I was very stressed at that time. I was speaking to a lot of elf scouts, giving my story to them, sending them to search for my friend, and
No, you're fine.
Zaxis, the thing is, right, it's really important that you remember these things. There's changelings, there's impersonators, there's the fate of you should be better here.
Absolutely. Every other person we have
she just
met
turns around.
has
She just like
betrayed us or double-crossed us or turned out to be some kind of monster. And I'm gonna be honest, I ain't convinced yet, and I got my eyes on you. Carlisle still got dust in his eyes. He's got it. There's that one not helping here.
I mean, I had just escaped from the Dreadful. Now, Morgan might be able to tell you about this, but it is a horrendous place.
you looked pretty comfy though with Queen. Honestly,
I looked comfortable.
I feel like you could have done a better job.
It doesn't do well for the memory.
Something bad happened to me.
Yeah, but you guys are traumatized. Try living in the Dreadful.
You couldn't walk a second in my shoes.
You guys, it was so hard when I was like the boyfriend of the queen and she gave me like all this stuff for free and I had to watch this tournament with her and she was like so pretty and she was a really good conversationalist and I just had to like talk to her all the time and then I was sad about my friend.
He just kind of sits there, like, looking across you. My bad. I'll try to pay better attention to your group now that I know you're more functional.
Bad. You're bad.
It's not just our group, just for yourself and your own sake. There are a lot of malicious types.
Honestly, tighten it up a bit. And she just starts to walk out.
It's all about keeping like a journal or something. Might do you some good. And Carlisle pause and trust.
He just got to him. He never thought about this moment. So he just got. That was weird. And he goes back to go shout his sword.
Aggro group of 6 comes and fucking gets him for nothing and then leaves.
There's no words coming over the telepathic bond, but you can just feel like this radiating like rage. I'm just like.
He's gonna get back to sharpening his sword. Yeah.
We're so paranoid.
I don't fucking trust him. I'm gonna be real. I'm still up.
Yeah, I mean
his name is the Bastard of Beauty, colloquially. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Morgan will turn in before they leave and be like, as consolation, if I'd told them the truth about all the things I've forgotten, they would suspect me too. I wouldn't worry.
The company we keep. And thank you for not putting me back there.
In the vault?
I'm not guarded here anymore by a queen.
Yet.
Oh my god, get him.
Get him now. Clutch out.
Fucking cock him on the head. This guy sucks.
Now that you mention it.
Send him back. Send him to the granary.
Okay, no, she'll smirk and just say, don't let the other wardens see you there.
I'm trying not to.
Sorry, since I'm coming into today late. Sorry.
Into the manic.
Have we already had our sleep?
No, this is of the first night.
No.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the sleep deprived 6. Got it.
Yeah. The paranoid and sleep deprived.
Right.
The Frankie 6.
She's like, I'm sorry.
Maybe
I'm just quite tired is all. I don't know. It feels like I've not slept in a while. Have we slept? I don't know.
I mean,
no.
It's
I
nighttime.
don't really sleep, so I don't. Sorry. It's just a lot. I'm very aggravated.
I think that is fair. We have been through a lot.
Just how are you supposed to fend off an apocalypse with idiots? I don't. It's fine. Right.
He has relied on beauty most of his life.
you know, they always do, don't they? Just so beautiful and so dim at the same time. Just nothing up there. Just head empty. Depressing. Right. So.
He's like within earshot.
Yeah, he's like, he looks up like, what the fuck? There's no door.
Just kidding.
She throws a glance back over her shoulder. She does.
Oh. Oh, gee, what an unfortunate time to get paused on. Sarah Bree.
It's perfect. It was eyes
They're
on.
back.
Okay. Do we have
Is there anyone you want to speak to tonight? Or, Carla, you got your mission.
I was gonna let everyone do their
question
talking and stuff before I
everyone.
did that.
We need a lie
have to-
detector test. Just put on everyone.
Do we
Tack
just like
touches
open
everyone.
every conversation with "get in the zone of truth now"?
Yeah,
motherfucker.
honestly. We're becoming
Dude, if
like
you could make that
detectives. I
portable.
feel like, yeah.
I mean,
That'd
we're
be
not
so
very
sick.
good detectives, unfortunately. We're kind of like a little
No.
bad at it.
I think we were good. We
It's
figured
our
that shit out. It's
fault.
just that it went
True.
nowhere because it was a
I
fucking
mean, we're
mistake
like,
by
we
Chucklehead
basically,
over
we're
here.
doing police interrogations on people where you have to fucking plead guilty because there's no other option. We just start yelling at you.
Interrogation room.
So, was anybody else shifty? Let's just go fuck them up. Otherwise, we just have to figure out what order
No,
we're
not
doing
really.
them in. She's just stomping through the camp. She's like, you! What are you looking at over there? The little gnome guy? No, I don't know. I'm kidding.
When everyone walked away, I think Tack would want to talk to the Bastard of Beauty alone. After all, that would probably come up to him with like a prestidigitated coffee and hand it to him. Sorry about them.
He takes it. No, I get it. It's all, it's high stakes. It's stressful.
What you were telling us about at the table. Do you mind if I talk with you about that some more?
Of course.
You believe or you know that you are part of a line intended to be bodies for beauty. Is that?
I don't think I was meant to be born.
That's the name.
That's the name. So she wanted to deal with me. He, they, whatever form they take, wanted to deal with me quickly. When I knew beauty, it was a grandmother figure and took over. But theoretically, they could have replaced me. My half-brother was the one replaced.
And it already happened.
By the time I found out, my mother warned me and got me away from everything. By the time, I mean, I could have kept my head down. I don't know if Beauty would have ever found me, but as I grew up and I saw that half-brother of mine, I knew that it wasn't actually them, but the replaced visage of Beauty. I just couldn't sit back idly. I made a mistake back then of keeping everything close to my chest, not telling others about the reason why, just saying that I was the rightful heir, the firstborn. And I guess this time around I'm not doing that. I'll tell everyone that Beauty is exactly who they are, and whether that is blasphemous or not, I don't care. They've already done the worst thing they could have done to me. The worst that can happen is it happens again. But at least I would have known that I tried at the time I had.
Have you ever been? This is gonna sound crazy. In your dreams, or have you ever been visited by a changeling, or sort of a representative of beauty? Something that, I don't know, seemed part of it.
When I was young.
Really? What did they say?
I'm confused. You've had the same? You can see his face kind of becomes softer now.
I don't know. But I can't. Tack looks almost worried about speaking now.
He nods to say, it's... I repressed it. When I was young, I used to have nightmares. I used to have these dreams of a changeling visiting me, and I always manifested it as me. I had to hide my form. Hide that I was a changeling for years. I always thought it was my inner self coming to see me. It was. They questioned me. Who are you? Curious. Like they could feel me, and I just kind of pushed them away. Didn't let them see my mind anymore, and I just thought it was a nightmare. But they would visit me most nights for the better part of a couple of my years of my childhood. Ask me questions, ask where I lived, ask who I was with, ask where I was. Try to kind of learn more about me. But I repressed them.
What did they say they were? How were they trying to entice you, I guess?
He said we are one. We are the same. We are kin. It was almost... Perhaps it was beauty. I've never thought about that. Honestly, I just put it down to... I thought it was my inner self just telling me to be who I was meant to be. But they never really gave a name to themselves. Just said the changeling should be seen. Should be better, stronger, more... Instead of hiding in the shadows.
Make you feel special, important.
Like I was meant to be someone. I repressed that though. I pushed it away. I didn't let them see me anymore. I always just put that down to an inkling at the back of my head. Like it was... Do you think it was...
I don't know.
Have they visited you?
Yes. Very recently, and I wouldn't say frequently, but they're trying to protect me. And I haven't been able to tell yet if it's for a good reason or not. I can't tell if it's inside of me, if it's part of me, or if when I'm at my most vulnerable, it's easier for them to visit. That makes sense.
I'd mostly get them visiting when I was scared. And I just put it down to nightmares manifesting out of an emotional boy.
Can I ask you something else?
Of course.
What do you know about the skinless one?
It's strange. It's something that's been occurring more recently. I've heard of cultists and people sacrificing to this god. I've never truly heard of them until more recently. But
if I told you that some people believe that the skinless one and beauty are one and the same, and that Chaos worships the skinless one, is apparently traveling with a form of beauty, would that ring true at all to you?
It makes sense. Beauty, when I was defeated, Beauty turned the ears of others, found servants through other means, using trickery. They would take many forms. At the time when I was brought down, they became the leader of a bard guild. Sung stories against my blasphemy, that I was going to take over the capital of Neverset, that I was going to march and take over the entirety of Hyloma. It was through bard stories that I was taken down. The fear that manifested in all the other regions had them attack Marigold, and when the city started to starve, they turned on me. Beauty does like tricking, does like promising, does like creating characters to hide behind. Who's to say that they didn't create a god figure? The Sun Children, what I've learned from this, they're not all good. They're not all knowing, they're not all powerful, they are just any other gods. It just happens to be the gods that we are serving. The majority of people look up to. Because they once protected us thousands of years ago, even though it most likely benefited them to not see the entirety of the land fall to darkness. And now we perceive them as our leaders, the ones we turn to for morality. Why? Why do we need any gods? There are some, especially among the dwarves of mountains or even the elves of woodlands, who serve gods which don't interfere, but our ones certainly do. They're not deities. They're just very powerful beings that have taken the role and killed off their competitors.
You can stay away from Chaos, Stu. I don't want to give specifics, but he's been doing unspeakable things to changelings. It's the reason I came here in the first place. You seem good at protecting yourself, but
I know a losing fight. I might have stakes in that one, but I'm not nearly as capable as a group of adventurers. There's one good thing he's done. He's brought a series of those, probably some of the worst people in the entire continent. He's condensed them into one location. That's cruel to the people, but get your hands on them and you can save a lot of lives. All at once.
it's oddly optimistic.
You have to be. In these times.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a strange conversation to have. I appreciate you being receptive. I don't know what to think of this.
Just safeguard yourself and rely on others. Those you can trust. And be truthful.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this talk. He kind of raises his mouth and sips it.
Yeah. Takes a sip and goes back to the group.
Does anyone want to talk to anyone else?
I'm good.
Carlos trying to still get something out of his eye.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, OLG, to answer your question in DMs, we have not had an opportunity or felt like it was safe and secure enough to really deep dive into, like, here's what we know about Chaos. You know, the only one who knows anyone here is Tack, and I think it's been a big ask to be like, you can totally trust these people.
Yeah, right. For sure.
So yeah, we played our cards pretty close to our chest and just listened last session.
Okay. So. Okay. So, what do we know about? Sorry, I have to find my notes. I have notes in like 8 places now. So, Zaxis told us that after Beauty took a body, she just keeps like Marion making a baby,
taking over the child's
becoming the
body.
kid.
Yeah.
She kills the kid, takes its place, and then.
So.
No, she uses the body, doesn't she?
She jumps into the body. Is that what she does?
Yeah.
Does she have to do that? Do we know? Like, is that part of
You don't
like
know
this
that.
body will die? You have to get a new one. All right, we don't know.
You
that.
do know that
We don't know.
the one, like, it always happens at kind of a time when then the parent would die. So it's kind of a, they're keeping their line very strict.
I think we assumed that it was kind of a, not necessarily an eternal life sort of thing, but like it somehow benefits Beauty to be in a newer body frequently.
Is there a significance as to like when that happens, or is it just this unbroken line as well?
Give me a
have
history
like
check.
another kid and then. Okay.
The Bastard of Beauty, when he was talking about it last time, said that until I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, said until
Only
him,
19.
there had only ever been one kid. So every generation there was one kid. She would take that kid's body, have another kid take that kid's body. And so the Bastard of Beauty was an outlier because there were two.
Because it was always just a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's been a series of one child kind of family in the Orca family. But the other thing is, there's no rhyme or reason for when. Like sometimes you might take the body of a child, sometimes you might take the body of a young adult. It's just whenever, or whenever Beauty seems to wish to move, is the kind of general.
Do we know who Beauty is in right now? Then.
You would know that the current person, based off your history check, is 2 secs. It's in House Orkra, and the current person in your that they would be. 1, 2 seconds to find the name. You know them to be in the kind of the leader of it. I'll find you the name of the first. It's whoever is leading Orkra right now is assumed. I'd have to find the name.
We saw them, right? At the party.
You did not see the head of the house, did you?
Shit, when was that?
I can check. The party's episode 1.
Episode. Oh no, I meant. Sorry, that's not what I meant.
Did you mean at the eating changelings party?
Yeah, at the feasty.
Oh, that thing?
The feasty party.
Oh, that old thing?
No, you
The flipping
saw.
changelings
Old shindig.
Oh,
Yeah.
got a little old.
We saw somebody who was from Trellis Gardens.
Yes, that's a different house.
That's a different house.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I got
Is this who we?
confused.
Sorry, loud car. We're talking about who we think Beauty is in right now.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if
That-
we've
so-
met them before.
You've never met them.
Doesn't Zaxis think Beauty is in his brother right now?
No, Zaxis is several hundred years old. He's 304 years old.
He's saying previously it was in his brother.
Yes.
Maybe
Beauty
I
was
thought he
in
was
his
just-
brother, but
Okay,
has
okay,
moved
got
on
it.
since then. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I've got a
Did
page.
his brother die?
I think that's the implication. No?
The implication
I
is
mean,
that-
the implication,
when
but
Beauty
he
swapped
didn't outright say that, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
I think the implication, was that when Beauty swaps bodies, the old body
I don't
dies, but
imagine
we
they
don't
just
know that
let the body
explicitly.
I mean,
go.
let's note that down as a question to ask him. I guess.
Yeah.
I do have a sheet somewhere. I'd have to find it of all of the houses and like the leaders' names and stuff.
So Ulcra, we know, is under the sway of the church, we think, right? Based on what what's his face told us. We know that. And that makes sense. Okay.
And so that history check was to see if I know who the current head of Ulcra is? Is that
The
what
history
that
check
for?
was to know if people are dying at the same age in Ulcra, which they don't. They don't. It's
Okay.
changed. I think the current leader.
Interesting.
I have to find my other document. Is Roletha Ulcra, Roletha the Second.
Okay. Okay. All right, let me just make sure that was the last question I had. Sorry. Sorry. I guess that's everything. So we're outside. We're not in the city yet, right?
No,
We're
you're
like
outside the city in the sewers over by the docks. The way to view it is there's a river that runs up to the point where you're at, and then the sewage kind of passes into the city from there, like small streams that they use for it. So you're kind of in the sewage element by the docks, in a dugout.
Oh, okay. That's it. Sorry.
Okay. Is there anyone else you want to talk to?
No.
I mean, now I want to ask Zaxis what happened to his brother, but I'm not.
I guess
that's not my role.
if Tack comes back and says anything about their conversation, then I would have a follow-up question. But if not, then no. No pressure. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know that anything in that conversation would be something that like felt
like it felt like a private convo.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's
Okay. If there's no more conversations, and Carlisle, you wish to do a night of scouting?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's time for covert operations.
Mm-hmm.
Carlisle will be letting everyone know that he is about to head out to take a look at the areas, though. It's not just gonna like disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful.
Yeah, I mean,
do you feel confident using the wings?
No. I'm gonna be honest, I keep on flipping over, but no one seemed to notice so far. Usually pretty good at hiding the flips now. But I'm not entirely sure tonight's a very good night for you to be teaching me how to work them properly.
This does not inspire confidence.
Well, hey, worst case, I'll just stay close to the ground because I ain't never been caught even when I've been on the ground. So I don't think tonight's going to be any different. I hope.
Do not make me worry.
I'll be okay.
Mr. Carlisle. How long do you think you'll be, dear?
Hopefully not more than an hour.
Right. All right. Can you just stand right there? Don't move, dear. And I'll cast. I still have to get the new spells into my sheet, but I'll cast Fortune's Favor on Carlisle. So it's latent luck to yourself or one willing creature you can see within range. When the chosen creature makes an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw before the spell ends, you can dismiss this spell in itself to roll an additional d20 and choose which of the d20s to use. Additionally, when an attack roll is made against the chosen creature, it can dismiss the spell in itself to roll a d20 and choose which of the d20s to use for the attacker. I'll post it in chat. Okay. It lasts for an hour, so...
Okay. And, Tack, do you think that I could borrow that lens thingy that lets me listen into conversations from a little bit far away just for this?
Yeah, of course. Hands you lens.
Good.
Thank you very much. Keep me a little bit farther away from bad situations with that.
Yeah, good call, good call.
Yeah, then Carlisle will head out. Take to the sky, or the best that he can with his subpar flying ability.
Sounds good.
And let's try to find all these spots.
Okay, so because you're on the kind of southwest side of the town, when you fly up into the sky, you see the kind of night sky over Songrest. You can notice that the mines are off to the left. The kind of the wall itself wraps around the town, but then it juts out a little bit over towards the left where the mining tunnels are. So the mines are probably the closest thing. And then you've got the town, kind of greater town itself, with all of the different buildings and districts, with the kind of the mills and the warehouses over to the kind of far eastern side of that.
Carl will go to the mines first, if it's closest.
Okay. Flying into the air, and kind of drifting over. How high up? Are you high enough that you can just zoom in and you're well away?
High enough to zoom in with the... Honestly, frankly, if I'm far enough away that I can just use the lens to do most of this, he's going to do that for most of this. I'm not interested in
I'll be honest with you.
Fights.
Are you invisible, did you say?
I can be invisible if I need to get closer.
Is there any range on the lens?
But the lens is like a mile range of zoom in?
Yeah, if it's a mile range, you can stay pretty far up. I'm going to do a roll. Can you do a roll for me? I'm going to get... this is going to be to determine the weather. A 1 it's going to be kind of a starlit sky. 2 is cloudy. 3 is foggy, and 4 is rainy.
It is a clear old night.
Okay, clear night. You will need to make a stealth check with a clear night.
Okay.
I'll give you advantage on this still, because you are still very high up. This is, to see if you see a speck.
24.
Okay. When you fly over the mines, you can look down. It's quite late at night, so you can see that they are... they're starting to kind of pack away, but it looks like the mines work almost 24/7. You can see a kind of a tired grouping of prisoners kind of carrying things out to these kind of carts. Give me a perception check, and you can see what's going on. Are you zooming in with the lens? Whereabouts do you want to
zoom in with the lens?
Okay.
Honestly, at the center of the area.
Opening area. Okay. Give me a perception check.
23.
Okay. So what you would see when you zoom into the mine area is you'd immediately see that it's kind of a little alcove. They've kind of got like a bit of grassland leading up to it, and then these 2 small towers, which are only about 30 feet high, and then a wooden kind of gate. Thick wooden gate, trunks kind of put in line, built across, which is what blocks off the mine area. The mining area, kind of grey stone around that's being mined and quarried out. We have 3 different mine carts going into the tunnels. A little bit broken, shoddy, a few kind of tumbled over carts. And you'd see a series of prisoners that are kind of coming out of the area with a couple of guards that walk around and kind of follow them. You'd notice that the guards are wearing kind of mercenary gear, like the ones you saw at the border control, less so soldiers. They are armored and whatnot, but they don't look like... They're kind of more brutes. It looks almost like bandits given armor. A lot of the prisoners look weaker. Some of them look stronger, like they're warriors. They're carrying out different bits of coal and stone, just kind of quarrying up the insides of the mines. Meanwhile, you would see, though, the enforcers of this area, not just the mercenaries, which there's only a couple of. It doesn't seem like it's super well manned. On the towers themselves, there's only a couple of guards on each tower. And a couple of enforcers walking around. The actual proper enforcers is you see these large robotic mechanical beings, almost like quite thick, wide metal mechanical animatons. You would see that they've got kind of exhaust pipes on the back. They wander around with a kind of almost like a plying, grabbing hand with a large fist on the other side. And you can kind of see as they shine light, they've got these balls of light that they kind of scan around the area, and it scans in circles, illuminating the area around them. That's where most of the light comes down here. They kind of watch over the prisoners, and you can see the prisoners kind of obey, stepping past them. And you can hear, like, occasionally their voice will be like... It will kind of almost be like talking to the prisoners and be like, pick up. And they kind of lift up and kind of move some of the stuff around. They kind of give them slight orders. You'd also see a few other smaller bots walking around, more like dog-like. They're kind of designed to be like dog-shaped, but they have these kind of wider lenses on the front, and they can zap and break down rock with this kind of almost like a laser-like drill at the front. A couple of those walking around.
Okay.
And because you rolled a 23, you'd also see tiredly kind of towards their almost their bedtime, checking on the last bit, you can see this this gnomish lady with a grabbing claw as a third arm on her back. She kind of walks up and she checks one of the enforcers, kind of changes a couple of things at the back and then closes up and goes, okay, you take over from here tonight, okay, big lad? I'll get some shut eye in a minute. And she kind of you can see she's got little bombs strapped to her belt, and she's got little kind of wires and toolkits, and she kind of fixes up a couple of the kind of malfunctioning portions of this one. She seems to be in control of the foreman and allows her robots to essentially do all of the enforcement around the area.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem super well manned, mostly just by these mechanons.
Are the prisoners and stuff, are they chained into a position or some kind of group, or are they kind of just stuck here by a fear of punishment if they were to try to escape?
Give me an insight check.
That is a 23.
You can see that the kind of weaker prisoners aren't even chained. They look thin, kind of gangly. Any villagers that are kind of elderly or young that aren't kind of put up in a fight, they're kind of not even chained. They're kind of walking around out of fear. The only ones that are chained are kind of the broader ones who have kind of chains around their neck and they're collared with the kind of chains ready to go. It's clear they get kind of chained up when they're not working, as opposed to when they're working around. They're kind of they're complying. It's more to, you can almost depict from that inside check that the rebels, the ones that they pushed in there for caught rebelling, known rebels, are kept under kind of lock and key as of night to avoid breakouts.
Okay. I think that's enough information for the mines to.
Yeah. Do you have a gatehouse?
Go to the
robots, etc. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll do the granary next.
Okay, flying over the entirety of the town. It's gonna give me a different stealth check with advantage, please.
Okay.
DC's a tiny bit higher for this one.
30.
It's not nearly that high. You still kind of float around, kind of flying into the sky, moving across the town. You can see, give me a perception check for the town itself.
30.
There's clearly a curfew in the town. There's very, very few villagers out. Those who come out are kind of popping out of their doors quickly to dump something out of their room and then quickly rushing back in. There's no one walking the streets except for a few guards. It's quite quiet. One of the weaknesses of Songrest is clearly that they are confident in their kind of outskirts. You do see some portions with the 30 of doors being kicked down with soldiers going in searching for rebels. You can hear kind of those roughhouse kind of moments of them looking around. You can also see with the 30 posters with the face of Soman on them, which you'd recognize from the party. They're clearly looking for him. They kind of hand them out. They're checking different houses, searching for him to see if he's hidden anywhere. But eventually you'd fly over kind of the warehouses and the old mill area. And you can see it's still part of the kind of industrial portions of Songrest. You can see it's, even though it's not convenient for them, it's taken across the town to get there. You can see the where they've kind of got the old mills and everything, where the town was kind of, it's in the older town portions of Songrest. Fell on the east. You'd be able to see kind of where the general granary and mill is. Though you wouldn't be able to see inside. It looks like it looks like it's on. That you see the wheels kind of spinning at the top of the windmill, and it's taking any of the wind. Something's kind of churning on the inside. Give me a.
And there's no
check.
windows or breaches in the.
There are windows.
Walls of this?
There are windows. There's a couple of windows on the side.
What I would be doing is positioning myself in such a way that I can use the lens of sense extension to put myself in the building.
Okay. You move up to the side and you flick through. Give me a perception check.
29.
You look through into the window. And I'm going to roll something here. Okay. You immediately see where they've turned kind of this into function. They're using it. It's become like a bone meal. It's not only a feeding ground, but it's also become this kind of bone meal area where it's clear that whatever creatures they're feeding it to him isn't eating the bones, just everything else. and you'd see the kind of a couple of cultists wearing the kind of red outfits that you recognize from those early episodes are gathering the bones, throwing them on. They're going into kind of a grind, and they're getting the dust and kind of getting any of the bone matter they can. And they do look frightened. They look like they're kind of wandering around doing kind of like they're used to doing this job at night. You can see some blood stains around the room, but it's mostly soaked up. Like it's kind of very dark, kind of ingrained into the ground. No flesh, no body pieces anywhere, just the bones. With a 29, you can see curled up into one corner, holding itself onto the wall. At first, it looks like a series of people. And it looks like what you would imagine to be just a grouping holding themselves together, but then you see its body parts attached. You can see a series of arms stretching onto this bulbous blob in the corner. A series of faces stretched out, like they're kind of pushing out and growing from the flesh itself. Kind of all these hands grabbing the wall, walking along it, almost like a spider grabbing itself across the wall. 100 different arms, a huge creature with hundreds of faces. All kind of embedded in, some only the mouths showing, some full heads showing. This looks to be a series of changelings that are just morphed and thrown together into just a coagulated, aberrant form. This creature is the one. And you can see it's feasting on like one leg of a person that has been kind of fed there that night. And you can see it's biting around the bone, taking off every bit of flesh. You can see it kind of, and then the bone drops to the ground. And they go and collect it from the ground.
I have a question, Joe.
Yes.
Because how far away is this thing from my current senses of this?
About 40
Within
feet.
60 feet of me?
Yeah.
Can I use my rogue field medic function to find out its vulnerabilities and immunities right now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, then I'm going to roll insight versus his stealth constitution, or deception constitution.
Okay.
23.
Deception constitution, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
It rolled a 12. You succeed. And what are you trying to find out?
I want to know its condition immunities and damage immunities.
No damage immunities, condition immunities, frightened, charmed, blinded.
Okay. That's a start at least. Yeah, Carlisle will head out with that. I don't want to get any closer to that shit right now. That's another good bit of intel. Last one I want to do, because we're not doing the armory, I do want to swing over to the inn where the there's some fucking horrible shit happening over there with these two, by the way. It's bad.
Are they being naughty? Okay.
I don't know. While you were reading the description, Bree was talking about eating Takis and cottage cheese in the chat, which sucked so bad that I couldn't focus.
What did that mean? That's gonna be in the YouTube VOD.
I was actually like straight up like couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Wait, Takis and cottage cheese sounds like fire though. That sounds like
Yeah, but I don't want to hear about it while Joe's like the most foul thing you've ever seen, and someone's like, I'm fucking destroying some cottage cheese and Takis right now.
My life is made out of cottage cheese.
Someone in chat asked me if I was eating ice cream. I said no, far more cursed. And then Doctor said I look like I was holding my napkin like a baby bird.
Like there like this with her napkin, watching so intently, and then slowly
Doctor,
crushed
watch
it.
this. I start going like this.
You misbehaving kids
I'm
in the
like
back.
watching all this happen while Joe is reading this, and I'm trying so hard to focus on what's going on.
I'm sorry.
You're good by tomorrow.
It's been a while.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. The mischievous too. I'll bucket and mop.
Yeah.
I go to the inn. I go to the inn now.
Okay, you're gonna fly across to the inn. Yeah, the inn's an interesting one because you can get a different set of angles. So you fly over towards where the inn is. Give me one last stealth check with advantage.
Loved. 25.
Okay, you're good. The tavern itself seems to be a converted bar training house. A wide building with 3 stories. The stories get smaller as you go up. The second story has about 20 or so rooms, with the third housing a penthouse suite on its own. On the bottom floor, there's 2 doors, one leading to like a garden area where there's which was once a resting place and now has a series of kind of picnic benches where one would drink in the gardens. One both kind of braziers in the corner that kind of warm up the area. So that's lit up in the garden. Inside, you've got a series of side rooms, which you can kind of see the windows of. 7 in total, which once you kind of glance in there, you'll see they've kind of got small stages and it's a place for audiences to go in. Like a series of kind of small theater rooms, which you can kind of go and watch. In the gardens themselves, you'll see a couple of figures sitting there talking. And then you can look through some windows. So I guess you just tell me if you want to look through the gardens, in through the windows on the bottom floor. You don't see where the bar is, which clearly means it's right in the kind of the center of the building, which you'd have to get much closer to. But you could look through all of the different rooms of the different levels and search for anyone who might be in a room.
I think that of the spots that Carlisle would get a bit closer to, now that he's on the last one, it would be going invisible now. And you can do it for up to like 3 minutes or 4 minutes straight. And like get in close enough to check through the windows, like properly, rather than just like what he's been doing.
Then you'd fly down. Where would you look first? Garden, penthouse, any of the rooms on the second story, or into the rooms at the bottom?
Probably bottom to top. So garden, then bottom floor, middle floor, top floor.
Got it. Flying down into the kind of garden area and then observing in there, you'd see a fat goblin, kind of no neck, kind of broad, wearing a yellow outfit that's garish, a little small kind of top hat adorned onto his head, and he's playing with coins on the table. You would see opposite him, with faded painted scales, a green dragonborn, who's kind of wearing a lot of blue clothing. The two of them are kind of talking and conversing. Are you able to listen in?
Yeah, Carlisle will try to listen in while invisible.
Give me a perception check.
23.
You'd hear the large one. Now, lad. I'm just saying, I know a few places where you can get just an amount of coin to get all those people who betrayed you. Every single one of them back. But you'd have to do favours for me. Once all this nonsense is done with, you come and work for me in tandem. And you can see the kind of dragonborn kind of leans back and goes, and why would I work for a sniveling little shit like you, Otab? Now, yeah. I might be a sniveling little shit, but I'm an honest one. I just know that all of the names of your people who betrayed you, and I don't agree with it. But you help me out, I can help you out. With enough coin, I'm your friend, JoeFudge. I'm your friend. You can bring that whole Sapphire host back. Yeah. Farewell. Once we're done with this business here, then, sure, we can look into it. And you see they can kind of continue the conversation.
Joe, how long would it have been since the telepathic bond was casted on us?
Hour and a half?
Okay, so I wouldn't have that. So I'm more wondering, like, what Carlisle's, like, clocking these names, because I want to make sure that I am, like, if I'm looking for people from the Dread Vault here, right, that have come in, like, to help Kiosk, I want to make sure if I've got anyone that I can kill, I want to know what they look like and what their names are now, because I'd be doing it fast tomorrow if I'm going to do.
Okay. So has Carlisle seen the list?
Yeah, he's seen the list in the same way everyone else has.
Also, Andrasta made copies of it and gave them to everybody so they could memorize what everyone looks like. Because she was super upset about Selendai.
Yeah.
List here.
You would know then, Otab and JoeFudge are both on the list.
Yeah, I recognized Otab immediately.
I recognized you, yeah.
Otab, you would know to be the brother of Holtz, the goblin in your camp. He is a... you'd remember from the list, he's a kind of middle-aged goblin, or kind of getting on. He was imprisoned for aiding countless criminals. He kind of helps oversee a lot of kind of shady business in the underworld of High Loma. Considered low danger when alone, but obviously because of his contacts, he is thrown in there. And then the other name on the list that you might recognize is JoeFudge, who was definitely considered a lot more dangerous, because they were on the floors of Faint Light, which is a depth of 4 to 6. They're a Dragonborn, a green Dragonborn with an obsession for blue dragons. They used to paint their scales to try and look like a blue Dragonborn. They have a vast list of kind of criminal affairs is what they got put in for, and they used to run a syndicate called the Sapphire Host, which used to kind of compete against the Peck in times of old. So these are kind of two criminal-based, like as in like very much like underground kind of criminal-based content.
Okay. All right, Carlisle will move quickly then to the next, to the windows
on the bottom floor. Looking through the bottom floor windows, you would go around. Give me a perception check to see through towards the bar.
32.
32, you're going to get a very clear image. Someone's left the door open of one of the bottom rooms, and you can see right into the bar area. The bar area has like a kind of circular bit. There seems to be an innkeeper. Give me an insight check.
Okay. 29.
The innkeeper clearly is a civilian. They look scared. The servers are kind of wandering around, kind of serving drinks. And you can see that inside of this area in particular, there's a few tables, about 6 in total, around a small bar. Innkeeper's kind of serving out drinks to a couple on there. But in this kind of main one right now, you've got this half-orc server that looks very anxious as they're kind of passing out drinks to them. But you can see next to a few mercenaries kind of wearing various kind of gears, nondescript kind of humans, a dwarf as well, who are kind of listening to someone. You see a very specific leader who's kind of stood on a table, drinking excitedly, claws coming out, 4 of them in total. You see a very crab-like, almost lobster person. They're kind of wearing their kind of fineries, and they're making a lot of noise. You can hear the kind of sounds of them kind of cheering and singing songs. They have this kind of axe to their side, which they slam into a table, breaking it, and it causes like the innkeeper to shudder, which looks like it's kind of made of like seaweed and bark with like a watery kind of axe blade. And they're kind of like how you can see the little kind of tendrils coming off. But it looks like some sort of crab person is in there. I'll let you guys work out who these people are from the list as you search. Obviously, you can work together to work out who it is.
Okay. While we're pondering, I mean, I have 2 that it seems like it could be either of. I'll go up to the next floor.
Okay.
I only have limited time before my invisibility's gone.
So I should say on the bottom floors as you're going around as well, you'd be able to search around. And in one of the other bottom floors, kind of getting a table to themselves, you'd see someone who's kind of sitting in one of the theater rooms on their own. Window open here as well. And you can see them eating soup, kind of drinking the ale alone, kind of closed off the door so they don't have to hear the ruckus in the center room. You'd see this elderly man, bald on the top, kind of wisping white hair around the sides, like it's kind of a little bit shaggy and grown. A mustache that looks a little thicker, but a beard underneath. White hair, elderly man. He's got a kind of a crutch to the side, leaning against the table, wears kind of basic, kind of like almost like peasant clothing, linens and whatnot, and he's just kind of eating from his soup. An elderly man of sorts. Looks a little kind of like shoulders broad, but definitely probably in his 60s.
Okay. I'll head up to the next floor then.
Flicking around one of the rooms out there, give me a perception check.
Nat 1 on that perception check.
In that case, in the one room that there's someone in, it's got kind of almost like faded windows, and you can see they've almost put blood against the window itself and kind of like crossed it out, and they've like drawn the curtain over that as well. You can't make out inside, and it looks kind of thick, but you can see there's a figure in one of the rooms up there. You just can't really make just humanoid figure inside that one.
Okay, then I'm going to go up to the top floor.
Give me a perception check.
23.
Inside the penthouse, a servant is kind of walking along with a tray, and then puts like a series of different foods, and like almost like a big kind of banquet foods, like they've worked hard in the kitchen to kind of put there on this kind of table. And flying in the room, kind of pondering back and forth, talking to themselves. I'm I'm going to roll to see if a window's open. On a 1, it's open. On a 2, it's closed. You don't hear the conversation as the windows are closed. But it's like pondering to itself. You recognize this creature. There's a flying head with 4 eyes coming off. In the center is a lens over the one eye. And it looks very familiar. Because you'd met this creature. Back in the Bags of Holding. It helped you.
Fight in the library.
Yes, it was the spectator from the library. It is here now, flying back and forth, kind of speaking to itself. It occasionally swoops down to the food, kind of lifts up some of it with like an eye stalk and just pops it into its mouth.
Does it seem pretty preoccupied right now, kind of like in its own head?
It looks like it's monologuing, yeah. It closes its eye and kind of flies around, yeah.
Carlisle is invisible. He's gonna try to quietly crack this window open enough to actually listen to what's being said.
Mm-hmm. Give me a thieves' tools.
Okay. 33.
You easily no sound at all, quiet. You can now hear it. The moment you kind of open the window ajar, you can hear him kind of going, And so I tell you, Mr. Kios, what I require is the entirety of the Weeping Hills. No, too greedy. Chester and Miss Haven to myself. I shall be its new headmaster. Change it. They shall all create creatures such as myself, and they shall serve me. And he flies back and forth, kind of almost creating the demands out loud. Yes. Yes. I shall be seen as the headmaster. Servant, and then you see the waiter kind of stops. Take a handful of the gold from that chest over there. I won't be needing it soon. You can see they kind of go and they grab it, and it walks out.
I'm like, stepping away from this is Carlisle's going to close the window again. And he's going to depart at that point. There's nothing more he's going to be able to do here right now. I think he's going to head back to the others. I think the whole time back is going to be thinking, the mine seems important, but there is a building full of all the worst fucking people right here, and we kind of need to deal with that more right now. Mm-hmm. Like the situation has kind of changed, I feel like.
You're just repeating like everyone you saw in your head so you don't forget anyone.
I think Carlisle going into it was kind of like, oh, it's gonna be 1 or 2 people there, and it's like every single bastard that we could have possibly bumped into is just in this fucking house. And Carlisle was thinking, oh, I could just kill one guy.
Dude, a bomb is so much value here. We
really need a bomb or 2 or 10, but there's civilians in there, so like we don't really want to bomb it. Carlisle heads back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you head back. Hour passes. You've kind of arrived back home about the time you said.
He'll come back in, do his like knocks he has to do.
Yeah,
and
they
go
let you
find
in.
The others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I took a look around.
Yes.
Well, the mine didn't look too complicated. There's a lot of like scary mech type things there, but there's only one person that's like running the whole thing. Probably deal with it honestly pretty easy. The granary was horrifying. There's definitely something pretty bad in there, but I did get a look at it. Carlisle will explain what it looked like and what kind of the situation in there was. And then I went to the tavern, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to second guess our priorities in going to the mine, because just about half of the people still on Morgane's list there are in there, and it feels like we kind of have to deal with that more.
Okay.
Were they?
Carlisle will list everyone that he thinks he saw.
That's half the list, all right.
It's quite a lot. They were all quite chummy with each other then, and sort of down to follow Kios then?
Sounds like it. Even that spectator that we saw in the Bag of Holding land. Yeah, they were there too. They were at the top talking about meeting with Kios and having demands and the like.
What the hell? How did they meet? What? All right.
I don't know. They were monologuing. It was honestly a little strange.
Okay. Tack will give Carlisle paper and a pen. Can you draw out the layout of that building and where everyone was or where you think they're staying?
Yeah. The only issue is, as Carlisle starts to like draw what he can from memory, I couldn't get a look at the second floor at all. So that's honestly all a little. There's curtains over and also blood on the window. But yeah, I got the bottom floor and the top floor at least. Draw it all out.
Okay.
To the best of his ability. I don't know if there's like a check for accuracy here for Carlisle. But,
sure, you could do it a little. Just give me like a. I'm just gonna say dexterity meets charisma. So, give me one of both.
17 dexterity, 19 charisma.
Pretty accurate. It's not the best artwork, but it's good enough to see everything what's going on.
Hey, he never said he was an artist. All
yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how that's going to change things if we go up, to the.
What would you say our
now.
odds of survival are just walking in the front door of that tavern?
Well, I mean, we're all pretty tough, but it's just about one of us per Dread Vault escapee at this point.
I do feel like it'd tip the fight.
I feel like we have to do it over the mine. I mean, as much as I frankly would prefer to get those people out of there, if we leave this and those escapees are just going to go and scamper somewhere else. And evidently a lot of them, they might not be as convenient to deal with later on.
Sure, but how are we going to deal with them as it is now without getting overwhelmed? Is it Morgaine?
We swing first.
We do have the element of surprise on them if we go there first. It's not like the monster's necessarily going to be going anywhere in the next, however much time after we immediately deal with the tavern.
Sure, but the element of surprise only goes so far. If we're dealing with 1, 2 of these things, the element of surprise is gone for the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, we know the layout. We can try to prepare sabotage. I mean, I can get back in there to set up anything we need if Desmond can come up with anything. It's not like they're in an impenetrable fortress. I was able to open their windows like it's nothing. This isn't some castle. This is an inn.
I suppose with all of them together, it makes sense they would be cocky as well.
Yeah,
for the most part, I'm also the only one they would recognize.
Yeah.
I could rig up explosives, but I wouldn't be able to plant them covertly. If I could maybe hand them off to you.
I'm not a fan that there are civilians. There's certainly
They'd be compact. They're not the biggest. Maybe 10 feet wide.
Well, I'm not even so much concerned about the bombs as I am once a fight starts out. I don't imagine, frankly, I haven't seen many folk that have gotten in the middle of pitched combat suddenly react in a way that isn't absolute panic and getting in the way and then kind of dying midway through. Not sure how to work around that. Well, we got a night and a day to think about it still. But we know we're going up against, so all you spellcasting folk can at least kind of get ready in that regard. And Desmond, maybe we can try to figure something out between two of us to set up before then.
What's the layout of the tavern again?
Honestly, I'm probably gonna have to change it because I thought you guys were gonna go with the other ones. I don't have the tavern on hand, so and it would take me ages to make them.
I feel bad about that, but you
That's
did
okay.
load up that tavern, that
Hey,
tavern
man,
with
I'll
like
just change up the
50
layout.
bad
It's all
people
good
in
by
there.
me. I've got some backup taverns in kind of like in my map, so I will use one of those. So seriously, it's gonna be 3 floors though. A garden,
Okay,
bottom
that's
floor
really
with
what
the
I wanted
bar.
to know,
Yeah. But I'm gonna change it up just a little bit. It'll be less
Yeah.
kind of circular in design.
We could do the tavern second if that makes things easier.
No, I don't mind. It's
genuinely.
it's just up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I have a tavern set up already. It's just not the exact description I gave. But it will be 3 floors.
Well, Carlisle doesn't have keen mind, so his descriptions to things could technically be slightly off.
Oh no.
He did have something in his eye, like the whole day now. It's been stuck in there.
It feels like it's still in there, even though it's out.
Oh,
right?
it's one of those things where like it feels like it's reaching like the back of the freaking
checking.
eyeball now, and it's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be hard. I'll tell you what. Going from that tavern to that monster is going to be a lot for us. So we really should be going into it ready to have a real fight in our hands tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe we all sleep on it. Seems like everyone's pretty tuckered out.
Yes. Let's sleep on it, and then tomorrow we cross some people off the list.
Yeah, I can head back down to the tavern tomorrow. It's not like anyone saw me, and I kind of scope out the area, see how people move in and out of it. At least give us a little of an idea.
All right.
Okay. So
we wish to long rest, DM.
yes, you can pass into your rooms to rest. You head off into each of your the arrows that you've kind of been given, and fall into sleep, resting off for the night. V.
Uh-huh.
You fall off into rest.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The bed.
Huh?
And your eyes open. And you're stood on a hill overlooking the entirety of Songrest. You look down toward the actual kind of layout of the town. It looks exactly how you saw it from afar. But now you're viewing it from almost like a peak on the mountain. You can see the river and all of the town. Give me a perception check.
14.
You don't notice anything about the town that's different, but you do notice one very glaring thing.
Mm-hmm.
The river that flows in there is made of blood. It's red. It's coagulating on the edges. And you see a bauble of blood kind of rise from the river itself. And it's distant, but large. You start to get close to you and you see it's massive. It goes over the town, pours down, and as it kind of drops and just soaks the ground, you see it flooding the town itself. Where the bauble was, almost like bursting the bubble and revealing, is just a dripping humanoid figure. And it drifts towards you. In your hand, you have your sword.
Mm.
And you hear its voice. You are near my enemies. You close in on a town right bloodshed. You have been faithful to me. The blood just keeps dripping off of it. And it starts soaking into your sword and kind of almost attached to your sword, the same way a genie would attach to a lamp. You see its legs almost manifest into it. It is tonight that I ask, will you pledge yourself to further bloodshed? Will you undo my enemies with my aided strength? Will you show the extent of what blood can do?
She looks genuinely scared. For maybe like the first time in her life. What exactly do you ask of me?
Accept a portion of my power. Begin your journey to becoming my herald.
Do it!
And I will grant you a modicum of power. You pushed aside my sibling's request in honor of me. I once saw you as a pawn, and now see you as much greater, a champion. Wield blood as if it were a weapon. See our enemies fall beneath waves of it. Bring bloodshed to this town, to your enemies, those who would injure your friends.
My friends.
Your friends.
To keep them safe.
You will die without our power. You will never be able to survive what is to come. You must be stronger. Begin your journey.
I must. She'll kneel.
Steps into you. Takes your hand. Molds with yours and just runs your hand down the blade. You feel it cut deep. And then the blood seeps into the blade. And you see the two, where your blade has crescent moons, waxing moons, and a full moon in the center. The two crescent moons now glow with blood red. And you fall back to sleep. When you wake in the morning, your eyes flicker and you feel a sting on your hand. You see cut flesh, healing from your rest, but still a little bit sore. And your blade is glowing. And you feel empowered by it, connected to it. As you have undergone the first stage of your journey with your legacy item. And you gain a strengthened blade.
So guys, how bad can it be? It's my legacy item.
You gain the blade.
Character arc.
The answer really is, you can choose what your kind of legacy item would have been. You've gone down the blood route. You get the blade of the Crescent Red. Of Crescent Red.
Ooh. Ooh, the item description, everything.
If you want to read it out loud, you can now.
Yeah. All right. Blade of Crescent Red. Once your crescent blade trickled blood that almost caressed the blade instead of dropping to the floor, seeping in as if it were blood on tissue. Now, the center of the blade reddens as blood courses through the sword as it would a body of veins. Your grip hardens, and the spines you use to cut yourself look more like the bone found in teeth. The crescent moon symbols now glow blood red. The greatsword is now a +1 for attack and damage rolls. So, Crimson Gaze. You can see the veins of creatures and the blood within at a range of 15 feet around you. Even if they're hidden in that distance, holy shit. You gain expertise in the perception skill and have an advantage on the check if you're using it to hear the heartbeat of a creature in range of your Crimson Gaze feature. By successfully hearing the beat, you can tell if a creature's heart rate is calm or elevated. Ooh, this could help with potentially lying situations too. Clotted Tendril. As the same bonus action used to rage, and on subsequent bonus actions, you can unleash a tendril of blood to pull a target within 30 feet closer to you. Roll your greatsword to attack, and on a hit, the creature takes 1d10 necrotic damage, and if they're larger or smaller, is pulled to within 5 feet of you. A huge creature can be pulled if it falls or fails a strength saving throw determined by your strength. Amazing. And then Blood Boil. When you are raging, your Crimson Gaze feature increases to a range of 30 feet around you, and you can make a ranged attack with your greatsword in place of a normal attack. Your greatsword fires off a bolt of blood. Roll your greatsword to hit a creature within 30/120 feet, but the damage is 1d10 plus your constitution plus your rage and necrotic damage. This does not trigger graze. Wow. Amazing. Holy shit.
So yes, you're connected to blood now. So congratulations, you got your legacy first portion of the item, the crescent version of it, as you've gone down the blood tree. With that said, you're all kind of waking up for the day. Before we take a break, is there anything that you're planning you want to do in the day before it kicks off?
The only thing that Carlisle would probably do is find a place near the inn to kind of like stand around and kind of stake out the area.
Okay. Do you go before like all of the plans are set in motion for the night's attack? You just want to spend your day there?
I think Carlisle would at least confirm with the group that that's like he's clear to do that, so they would know where he is. Because I assume as a group we've kind of established going to the inn is going to be the first of the two options, so everyone would meet with Carlisle wherever he finds. So I think he'd try to find, ideally if he can, a building that is unoccupied or a place that he can technically, like, everyone can gather before this happens, if they need to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think before you leave, should we, I don't know, tell Master Holt his brother is in the inn? That feels quite bad or sad.
I mean,
we thought we would try to find him, and
we can, but it's not really gonna change, I think, what's gonna happen. His brother is clearly a pretty bad guy. The conversation I was listening into him talking about definitely didn't do him any favors. I don't think he's necessarily going to be someone trying to fight us in there. But, I mean, the most we can do is call him up and tell him, hi, we're about to go fight your brother, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Sorry if we're getting drop frames, by the way. I think someone in my house is using the internet. We might have to take the 5-minute break now just so I can go and see if there's anything being going, because we're dropping horrendous amounts of frames. I'm going to throw up the 5-minute break screen chat, the BRB screen. It might take us closer to 10 minutes, because I've just got to put the map on the map as well, get all that stuff sorted for the tavern. So we'll be back in like 5 to 10. I'll go and check everything here. Okay. Bring it back 6. Sorry about that. right, chat. I'm just putting together the maps now. I didn't expect them to go to the tavern. I just made it more of a descriptive one. So now I'm just going to change out the layout. I was like, you guys definitely showed in the mines of the thing? Yeah. Wait. So I'm now just piecing together the tavern layout, but obviously I won't have time to build an entire map of 3 stories, so I'm just going to change out the layout. It all functionally works the same. It's just description. The good thing I actually prepped all of the characters because I thought maybe they'll try and take them out. So luckily we have all of the stat blocks. So just give me another couple minutes and we'll get started. And I'll give a little shout out to the people that I subscribe to for maps. Moonlight Maps and Shay and Piku on Patreon, chat. These are 2 of the, they're not sponsoring me or anything. I actually pay for the maps, but they gave me permission to use their maps in the campaign, and they are a lifesaver for moments like this. So, almost good to go. Yeah, you might get a couple of hitches, chat, just because I'm uploading maps to the thing, so it's going to soak up all my bandwidth. Okay. We're going to unmute in 1 minute, chat. We got everything we need. All right, let's get things unmuted, chat. Hello, and welcome back in, everyone, to episode 72. We were just interrupted in just kind of the day afterwards when Desmond and Carla were having a conversation about some of the prep to do going forward. So let's bring things back into the episode. It's the day before, the day of the attack. You've got the general gist of what's going to happen tonight, not the exact knowings and comings of what's going to happen, but
we were talking about what to do about Ozab actually first.
Yes,
I guess I'm here too.
Oh, Tam.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Desmond wasn't there. Sorry.
Otab. Yeah.
I mean, we were probably all there.
You're probably all there. You're probably all there, yeah.
After. But we were discussing the moral quandary of whether or not we should inform Holt at all about what's going on. I don't know. I just don't really know.
Yes.
I don't know what is going to change.
I don't think functionally it would change much. I'm quite sad. I quite like Master Holt, and it feels.
Yeah. Well, what we can do is try not to kill him. And if we can take him alive, we can. But that kind of falls upon them, you know.
Yes, I know, dear. He'll make his choice. That's fine. All right.
So, Desmond, do we have any kind of things we can do on your side here to make to make the tavern pod a little bit more effective.
I'm not sure of a way to make it safer, if that's what you're asking. I don't really have a way to evacuate people with my machines.
Yeah. Joe, when Carlisle was there, so he mostly saw people, like actual civilians on the first floor, right? But like,
yes,
he couldn't see into the second floor, but the second floor seemed like more from what, like it seemed like from the outside.
Well,
that's more of like the living quarters.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna.
like
I've changed up the thing a little bit. It's there's a bottom floor, with all the tables and the kind of bar area, and the gardens, and then you also have it's now just gonna be 2 floors, but the penthouse there's a much larger room in the corner. That's the room you saw into. So the other ones just seem like they're other rooms, like a series of other rooms.
Well, because what we could do is put all of any sabotage we're doing on the second floor, where there's likely many fewer like uninvolved people. Do something up there and then appear through the bottom like during the chaos and start the fight, right? If that's
a bad idea.
Possible. So it's also going to add a lot of confusion to the board. I'm not really sure mechanically what your options are there.
I mean, the best thing. How grouped did you say they were?
Well, it was more of like the rooms grouped. They were quite grouped in the lower floor, but that floor is the one that we don't really want to do stuff with. But technically, if I was in a building and there was an explosion on the top floor, that would confuse me quite a lot, regardless of whether or not it did anything much to hurt me, you know?
Also, we don't know
bet is I
we
can
don't
make
know the layout
tripwires.
of them this time. They might not be in the same places. It's a different day as well.
Oh, that's right.
So we might need to scope out first.
Yeah, we might want to wait for you to do your second scope out before we decide what to do, in case they've completely shifted.
Yeah. Well, Carlisle would explain that he wants to do another trip around in the morning. But I'm also simultaneously kind of curious if Carlisle's going to notice anything different about V in the morning than the night before.
I mean, she's bandaging her hand for sure with the cut on it. But she would try to.
Super different, right?
Yeah, the sword is mainly what I think anyone would notice, because Joe said it was like glowing now.
Yeah, the crescent moons on it are glowing red.
Oh boy.
Let's go, baby.
She's just gonna try not to draw any attention to it immediately. Like, I feel like she'd immediately like slot it, and maybe even like before she met up with everyone, maybe try to wrap it a bit. I don't know, to try to obfuscate it.
Mm-hmm.
Even that's suspicious, though.
I mean, I'll say out of character that Carlisle's not necessarily suspicious of you, but if you're gonna act weird and all of a sudden do a bunch of stuff to hide something, you're gonna make it pretty obvious.
Also, he's a doctor, right? You had a bandage. Be like,
yeah.
What's that? What you got there?
I don't know.
Hand behind back. Nothing.
It's up to you. I'm not about to like do like 50 rolls to fucking suss out something from your character to happen to you. I was just more curious, like, what the situation was.
Yeah, I mean, visibly, it is quite different. So I feel like she wouldn't even know how to approach this yet. So yeah, I do think maybe she would have her cloak off, or like put her cloak over her sword today, so her sword is slotted between her back and her cloak, which she normally wouldn't do. But like,
normally, have you ever done that?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. She's not a subtle person. She doesn't really. She's not had to navigate something like this before. And it's obvious that she
I
hasn't.
think Carlisle's one of the first up, so I think he would just kind of. I mean, honestly, I'm going to roll, and on a 1 through 10, he's just going to think that you're sleepy and you put on your stuff wrong because it's an early morning.
Perfect.
So I'll roll a d20. Man, that's a nat 20. That's a nat 20 on that.
I mean, the thing is,
Fuck.
you're high tension. You've seen V hide stuff before. It's not like maybe your first thought is, oh, maybe she wrapped it wrong. But then you can think
We're suspicious of everyone right now.
Yeah,
what if?
it makes sense paranoia-wise.
Yeah.
We were like high on alert for
treat
everyone.
more like an inkling in the back of your head of like, so what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong again?
Yeah. Carlisle will take a long look at V, but I think he, having like recollected their last conversation, he kind of has to leave it to them to want to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
So he's going to like kind of like nod at them and acknowledge pretty obviously, like raise his eyebrows at their fucking robe.
It's like fuck.
Okay, so I'm planning on going out today to scope out the tavern. I could let you all know where that. He's like not breaking eye contact with the robe. I can let you all know how that goes, or I can try to find a place for everyone to kind of scope it out with me, or we can go in like a group now and a group later. It's up to all of you, but I just thought I'd let you all know.
I feel like we should go as a group in case something. It's daytime now. If something happened, we don't want people scrambling to get there.
Yeah, we can try to go slow. I mean, it's just more who's gonna be recognized right now. It's gonna be harder to fly, so we have to take the the streets to get there this time, which means disguises.
Well, I'm wearing different armor and a different cloak. As long as I hide this, she'll like remove the insignia and like tuck it away. I suppose we'll be fine.
Okay, I think Carlisle doesn't feel great about bringing like everyone in a down the street middle of the day walk.
Well, maybe Tack shouldn't have fucking suggested it.
What the fuck? I'm not the strategist here. Can I just ask, just for flavor?
Yeah.
Does Morgaine removing the insignia literally make them any less? Look at it.
Yeah, no, that means nothing to me. Frankly, that did nothing.
Well, I'm like Morgaine has changed, is in like a lot more plain looking plate armor, has like the cloak of night. I'm assuming at this point the only reason people keep recognizing Morgaine is the skull on the helmet
fair.
and
We
the
swapped
dread
Up
warden
until
insignia.
now, I imagined that
she's
quite
that
literally
bitch.
you taking that insignia off was a police officer removing their badge.
A badge.
That's kind of what it is, but like the
Exactly.
insignia kind of holds the cloak. It's like pretty prevalent, like right there. And only a dread warden would have an insignia.
It's more the equivalent of when you look at a knight, you can tell kind of what orders they are from the insignia. Most people won't be able to recognize them. A lot of people recognize the dread warden because of their reputation. When you take that off, you look like a wandering hedge knight. You look like a kind of a knight that might be traveling around for all different reasons. There's a lot of knights that exist, so maybe you just look like a kind of a pretty imposing knight. So it does hide your what order you're part of.
Yeah. There's also not many blind knights though, so I'm still kind of
Yeah.
that one. But
I'm not so sure that we can get everyone there during the day. I'm just gonna say it.
I think unless there was a destination right next door that we were going to possibly.
I was gonna take a look.
okay, well I'll hang back until instructed.
Okay.
How far is it?
Do whatever.
Into the town. I mean, if you're
How far? Yeah, how far is it, Joe, from here to the tavern?
so you'd have to go if you're means of entry. If you're flying over, you can get there much quicker. Otherwise, you're going to go through the sewers, come up one of the grates. You guys haven't really explored the sewers, but it's a ways into the town. It's more central, kind of north central into it. It's probably only a couple of minutes walk from the path that leads up to the castle and the gatehouse there.
Okay.
It's a ways into the town.
Well, given that regardless, we don't really have much of a choice, I think, as far as flying in later tonight. It's just going to take too long. Maybe we get started on the sewers now, figure out where we're even going to be let out. Could scout from there, but at least I'll start moving in that direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you gonna head out then before, like now in the daytime, yeah? And who's in your entourage here? Everyone?
Oh, are we all
I figure it's all of us for this.
gonna just
Sewers
wait in the
Just
sewers?
get to the sewers and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Mine's moving you along. So if you've got anything to say before that, then now would be the time.
Mr. Svi.
Oh,
I not go into the sewer with a. Are you all right? Go into a dirty sewer. Do you need Master Carlisle to?
she's like eating breakfast.
A method actor.
Oh, this. It's fine. I think. It doesn't hurt.
Right, yeah.
I'm just afraid it'll get like septic or something if we're going in a sewer.
Carlisle, would you like to check it?
Yeah, I can take a look.
Okay.
To be clear, unless V presses it further towards Carlisle, like in conversation, he's going to do like a very fast, like, here you go, bandage reset thing. He's not going to make this a big deal
Right.
right now.
I think, yeah. She would look at you kind of, if she could convey this look, it's like a, I would like to talk to you about this, but not here in front of everybody kind of look.
When you're
Yeah.
changing the bandage, Carlisle, there's no wound underneath.
Huh?
Oh,
Oh, well, you're fast healer. And Carlisle will just kind of
Oh.
get rid of the bandage.
Maybe it's the fruit then.
maybe.
Working, right?
Right, yes.
V,
I should
Good.
change things.
you see the wound.
What the fuck?
It's like a big gash in my hand,
The gash
right?
across your
Like,
palm.
okay, I don't think she would have played it off that cool. I think she would have been like,
no.
I think actually, you
Do
know
you
what,
see
she
it
might have-
bleeding, or do you like?
No,
yeah,
it's,
good
it's
question.
coagulated and kind of healed over.
I think she might have played it off like, oh, Carlisle's covering because he can tell I don't want to talk about it, so he's pretending it's not a
Aw.
big deal kind of thing. So she'd be like, yeah, it's
Oh, good. All right then.
when I feel it, like if she puts her like thumb
Yeah.
to it, does she feel it?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Fucked up day.
Does any if she has the bandage off, does anyone else see anything on her hand?
Just normal hand.
Why did my voice
Oh,
go
does
so high?
Morgaine see anything? If Morgaine's even looking, but
Or like,
Morgaine doesn't see.
I see nothing.
Who's looking?
does
I do. Well, I would see
I mean, I would
the
look
sword
because I
glowing though, which it wasn't before, wouldn't I?
Weapon is magic.
Yeah, it's
a
become
magical
magical.
item now.
Yeah, it's magical. It's enchanted.
Idrasa would have been looking because she was like, "Hey, do you need to like do something weird with your bandage before you go to a stinky ass
But we don't
sewer?"
see
yeah.
No, Andrasta does.
Andrasta sees something?
What?
Oh shit! It's the It's the people
So
who let darkness into their hearts. Do I see something?
If you're
Did
looking,
somebody
yeah.
say door to darkness? Fuck.
So Carlisle goes, "There's nothing there."
It's just
And then
Carlisle and
V's
Desmond
just-
that don't see anything.
Looking at it,
Oh fuck.
I think
Is it me
Andrasa
and
just
Carlisle the only ones that don't see?
no, Desmond.
You just
I
don't
don't
see it
know.
because you're blind, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
I'm just being
I think-
honest. Like,
Wait, so,
right
so
now, it's
Tack
what's
and
happening.
Andrasa see it?
Indrasa will look at Carlisle, who just said it was fine, and look at
Oh my god.
V, looking at her hand, and just sort of look between them, and then just sort of look to see if anyone else looks like they notice something weird.
I think
And then just sort of says, oh. Looks at Carlisle, and is like, all right.
I will say this. Carlisle is not a deceptive person. I don't think it would take very much effort for you to tell that something is... He is trying to play something off that he's not good at playing off. But he does not see the fucking thing. Like, he
and
does
so
not
I
see
think
anything
if he looks uncomfortable and V's looking at her hand, Indrasa's just gonna be like, right. Well, I'm glad that's sorted then. You wouldn't want to get an infection. Shall we carry on?
Yes. I think that would be for the best.
Above board. So we're gonna go scout. We're not starting anything yet, correct?
We're scouting. We
What's
want to
happening?
go to
Okay.
the sewer. We want to get to where the manhole is, the exit point, so we can get to the tavern. When we get there, that is probably
Then we'll
when I will go and look
split,
for a place for us to like stake it out if we can.
We'll wait in the
Otherwise,
sewer.
That's the best spot for
Right.
us to actually start in the evening anyways. So either way, we need to go through the sewer because we can't fly everyone there at night. It'll take too long. So
Right. Okay. So when we leave here, we're leaving.
we're leaving for good when we leave this building.
Okay. I think Tack would, if it seemed like everybody was gearing up to go, Tack would look for Zonia.
Yeah, you see she's in the planning room.
Is anybody else in there?
I'd
Or
say
is it just her?
Fresm. Her and Fresm are kind of getting the morning kind of plans into motion.
I think Tack would sort of. I don't know. Are there like what is keeping the planning room separate? Is it like a
Nothing.
proper
It's just a
door?
little dugout. They haven't even put a door up or anything. It's just kind of at the far end of the hallway. There's no rooms right next to it necessarily, but they're keeping their voices down in there. You can kind of see them when you go into the main area.
Right. I think Tack would approach and kind of like hover on the outside, not wanting to interrupt.
Yeah, Fresm, he's kind of running a second. Right, then, what's your team is attacking here in the mines? We're going to attack here. We're going to set up the timber and burn. Looks across, and she goes, good, just the ones we were talking about. Fresm goes, oh, okay. He kind of leans back and goes, right.
Sorry, did you need to discuss something with us, or?
She nods. Of course, I mean, tonight's plan.
Okay. Yeah, Tack will come over.
Good. So, here's the idea of what we're going to be doing. She points at the map. Our forces are all going to go through the sewers as well. We're going to come at different points around the town. Our plan is to set timber in the 3 barracks across the town. This timber won't be lit until you have liberated the mines. We assume you're going to first. You're going to the mines first?
So we scouted out it's an inn, right?
Yeah.
We had Carlisle scout out the inns last night, and it's packed with extremely dangerous people. I think we're actually going to go with your original thought. Attack that first, do as much damage as we can, hopefully all of it, and then move on to the granary.
If you're going to be doing that one, remember to be subtle about it. We hope that we have 2 targets in one night. If you're going to be doing the tavern and going to that one and dealing with them there, if you make too much noise, the guard will wake and the entirety of this town will go into lockdown. If we don't manage to burn the barracks with all of the soldiers in there, we're going to be swarmed. If you're
Then
going
do
to be...
you want? Do you want us to wait for your signal then?
They will. If you do that, once the burning begins, anyone else is going to be coming out. They will release whatever they've got. Their beasts will take to the streets. The mines will send whatever forcemen they've got. The battle will begin. Our hope and plan is that you deal with the 2 targets, and upon the secondary target being done, you tell us, and that's when we start the fire. So that when all of the warning signs go out, your team is going to rush straight to the gatehouse as we're taking the town.
Okay.
If we do this any earlier, they're going to release whatever they've got ASAP. So if you're going to go to that inn, we need to make sure that it is condensed inside. No one gets out. No survivors.
Maybe we go to the granary first then. And that way if things go south at the tavern, we can burn.
We kick off the burn. That also works, unless you think you can do it subtly. If you can take everyone out inside that tavern without a single person being warned on the outside, then no one's going to be able to see
I can have all the confidence
that
in the world, but I don't want to play around with an entire town.
It makes sense. But we'll be sending timber into the barracks. Luckily, none of our own soldiers are there. House Lepos has replaced nearly all of our guard, and our guards are positioned in the only barracks we're not hitting. Otherwise, it's going to be street guards, those coming from the armory, the mines. But when the battle begins in the streets, they're not going to have the gatehouse ready. She points at the top. Once you've done the second target, your mission is to get to the gatehouse as soon as possible. She kind of circles it. There seems to be like an open kind of gate that leads out of the north part of the town, and in the valleys that lead up towards the castle is a kind of a gatehouse. It's paramount we take this. If we can get the gatehouse, they can't arm it up from the castle. We have the entirety of the town. All they have left is the castle. And then we can spend the next several days coming up how we siege that. But Chaos will be trapped up there.
Okay.
So once you've done the 2 targets, on the second target you tell us. The fire begins. My forces are going to take to the town, kill as many of the House Lepos and the mercenaries that are here as possible. You're going to hit the gatehouse at that time. And hopefully in 1 hour, flat, the entirety of Songrest will be ours. Quicker and more efficient than they ever did it to us.
All right.
And the same goes with the granary. You can't keep it condensed. If that fighting takes out into the streets, things get difficult.
We'll do our best. If we're made, if anything goes wrong, I'll message you immediately.
We'll set the fires. The worst that can happen here is you're made and the fires go off. We deal with the barracks. And then the battle begins, albeit a little tougher. Oh,
Right.
If there's anything you need before we start this, let us know. We have minimal supplies, though.
I think we're good to go. I think we're about to leave.
And good luck.
So I won't say goodbye.
No.
Good luck.
I'll see you when this is done. I'll see you when Songrest is
First.
ours again. New strategy. She looks to Fresm. He goes, all right, ruling out the
Tack
mines.
will
And he kind of like
walk away.
moves some of his pieces across and starts focusing on a new strategy for their forces.
Tack will come back to the group and blah.
Okay. Well,
do you
yeah, as
think?
far as dealing with the inn quietly, that one seems pretty hard, definitely.
I don't
think
have
it's the
confidence
best.
that we can.
I'm
There's too
not.
many.
I'm gonna be honest. You're all great. I do not have much confidence in our stealth abilities as a group, though. I gotta be honest. So, yeah, not entirely sure we're gonna be able to deal with that place correctly. So, Granary did have other folk in it than just that monster, though. It had those cultists, so it's still people we have to deal with.
How many would you say?
It's like
Number.
4, Joe?
It was less than
Or-
2 or 3.
2 or 3?
2 or 3. We can
We can knock out 3 guys.
take care of them fast. Hell, I could probably deal with them before we even start the fight with the monster if I'm quick. Just gotta make sure no one else comes in. I don't think that place gets a lot of visitors, so probably good on that. Inn's gonna be a problem still, though.
From what it sounds like, they'll be ready with the next phase, whether we're successful or not. We just have to know when we become unsuccessful, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Joe, from Carlisle being at the inn, scoping it out before, seemed like there were any backup ways out? Say we go in through the front, and we block that way. How many people are getting out?
In the kind of the new version of it, I've got, it's essentially the only way they're really going to get out is if they go rather jump through a window on one of their floors, which obviously comes with the chance of them breaking their ankles and whatnot, which I can roll if they have that ability. Otherwise, there's a front door and there's a back door that goes through the kitchens.
How big is the tavern?
3 floors, yeah.
Like, I mean,
2 floors now.
Area.
90 by 80 feet.
We could do something really fucked up. Like we could.
So, do we have
really
a similar idea? I feel like we might have a similar idea.
Well, my idea is if we go into the 2 entrances, block the 2 entryways in split parties, right? No one's leaving now from those ways. Only option is to jump out windows. We set our traps at window exits where you have to land. If anyone tries to escape through the windows, they're not only going to fall and break something, they're going to blow up. And we deal with everyone after.
So I do have another idea along with that. I guess it depends on how many windows there are. I don't necessarily want to do this because I feel like it's going to be a lot of fights, but I can wall of force off entry points and no one can get through them, but it's a 10 by 10 contiguous thing. The other thing that I can do is I did take some more spells. I just haven't put them into my sheet. This one is, they could still get out physically, but there's a spell that I took because I thought it sounded cool and maybe someday I could use it, and it's called Mordenkainen's Private Sanctum, and you can cast on an area as large as 100 feet on each side, a cube. Sound can't pass through the barrier, so if we're making a lot of noise, they can't hear the noise that we're making. The barrier does appear dark and foggy, so I'd have to try to make it inside the walls so that people wouldn't see that, right? But like, there's no divination in there. Nothing could teleport in or out. Planar travel is blocked.
Interesting.
So,
man, oh man, yeah.
What's the size of the cube?
It's a cube, and it says can be as small as 5 feet to as large as 100 feet per side. And if the tavern
I just measured the tavern. It's 100 exactly. So
so we could just cube the entire building.
I could literally just but
it's only inside the walls so that people
honestly, it's not as dark as what I was worried the resident wizard in the party would suggest as a solution to a room full.
Normally when a wizard says that, it's about to get really fucked up.
Usually, like, I'm gonna disintegrate everyone in there.
That was more smart than fucked up, actually.
I was trying to figure out how could I just destroy the tavern without anyone seeing it, and I can't really figure out how to do that, but this was my stopgap of a potential thing to do.
Oh, so your first thought was...
Yeah, my first thought was, can I annihilate the tavern
as it
from
should
afar?
be as a wizard? That's what it should always be.
That
how do I war crime these fuckers as fast as possible?
Do you know what my other thought was? If it was many rooms, is could we make a strike force with Tack and Carlisle, and Tack could just keep commanding people to kneel, and then Carlisle could take them out one by one?
That's so hard.
Oh my god.
That's why I asked, was it an action?
What the fuck?
If it's a bonus action and we could haste them, then could we like get an
I know we're
extra
not the
attack?
bad guys, but we're so, it's not just morally gray anymore. It's more
so
Guys,
like
when I'm quiet, I'm thinking of stuff. So those are the options that we have open to us.
I will say the thing about Private Sanctum, the only barrier of entry is it is going to have a box appear around it that is dark and foggy that other people see as they walk
that's
past.
the thing, right? So that's the downside.
So as long as you come out with an excuse for that.
I couldn't do like 100 feet this way, 100 feet this way, and only like 40 feet this way for like, you know, like it would be a box people could see. So that won't really work. But
okay, but if we did it if we did it in the evening when it was already getting dark,
True.
it'd be less noticeable.
Yeah.
Or we
Also,
could just do the
wait.
first floor of the building.
No,
How's the
wait.
forecast
Sorry.
looking? Overcast? Like, what are we looking at? Can we just say it's a low cloud?
Are there weatherman?
I would
wait.
say if you were in.
Sorry. It also just says an area within range. It doesn't say that I have to see, so can't I just pop it under the ground? So the top is the top floor, is the ceiling of the top floor?
Yeah, that's fine, but I will say still, if you walk past this building, other buildings, even at night, you're going to see the silhouette of them. You will see the silhouette of a box regardless, right?
Well, no, we're saying
Not
put
by
it within
putting
the
inside the
walls
wall
of the
and
building.
below. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't say I have to be able to see the point of
Oh,
origin.
I
so if
see.
I sink it so that it's just like...
It'd be slightly interior.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
like
will
a
say-
foot into the building, it would begin.
Yes,
almost.
the only thing is, this building isn't a straight square. It's
It's
Right,
not just
so
a
it's
square
still-
building.
so
Yeah.
there will be portions that stick out. That once you see the building, which I can show you momentarily, you can kind of reverse that. You could pick a segment of the building that could work in, but it's not going to make
that's
it go
what I'm thinking. Like,
the
maybe it has to
entire
be
way.
smaller. A segment still... Maybe
When
something.
Carlisle was there last night, how many guards did he see patrolling outside of this tavern?
Specifically the tavern, give me... you already rolled a perception check. I'd say over the course of the time you were there, only probably a couple passed by. But there were
Because, like,
mercenaries
I'm
inside.
gonna be real. Carlisle can probably instantaneously deal with any patrols that might take issue with a weird-looking corner of a building if, like, it looks like it's going to be a problem when we make the cast, right?
And I will say this. You didn't see any villagers pass by because the curfew was in place. So,
Yeah,
just
so it's
guards.
only going to be those couple of guards.
Now, again, right, it's not a physical barrier, so they can still, like, jump out a window or, like, jump, you know, try to run through the door. It's just that no sound would come out if we're, like, murdering everyone in there.
I think what he's also meaning is mostly that, like, if anyone saw a bit of foggy
Yeah.
excess being
Yeah,
like,
I just mean
that's
that,
strange.
right? Like, people could still
Yes,
still
can run
bust
through.
out. But, like,
I'm
if
not
we set off
necessarily
pretty
convinced.
explosions and noise,
Yeah.
they can't.
Yeah. I'm not convinced we're going to be able to keep everyone from running away if they choose to evacuate through a window
Yeah.
to get away from us, even with possible explosives and other traps being set at them. I think that's I don't think it would be effective enough, honestly. I don't think anything Desmond can make would be so effective that we could stop people from escaping if they want to bug out by any means necessary.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
I think the thing that was nice about Sanctum is they couldn't TP out, right? So they'd have to use a window or a door.
Yeah.
Was the thing I was thinking.
Reasonably, if someone's trying to run out through a window or something, ranged people can stop them. But, you know,
I have a ranged attack now, everybody.
What, bitch?
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
big. That's big.
Yeah, and on top
don't.
of it, we're assuming that everyone when we show up is gonna be like, oh fuck, it's the 6, run! But like
Everybody
they might
run
be like,
through a
oh
window.
hell yeah, it's the 6, let's get them now. And like this
Yeah,
might not,
yeah.
like the energy might be a fight, you know. So we might not have to worry about them being like, oh get out, you know.
Book these guys.
I'll say this as well for your two options tonight. The first one you do is the one that you're going to have to do the most subtlety on regardless, because it breaks down to the streets, it could screw up the entire plan. But the second one, everything will be in place, ready to go. If you fail it during it, to keep it contained, it's going to mean that the gatehouse is going to be bolstered. Every round that passes, it gets more and more bolstered. To an extent where if it gets bolstered to like 10 rounds, then it's going to be near enough impossible for a party to attack the gatehouse. So whatever you choose to go to second is one where if you fail, it's just going to mean the next fight is going to be harder. The next fight has to take place pretty much straight afterwards. So
Okay.
both of them are important to be subtle in. It's just one would have detrimental effects to the battle.
I can imagine subtlety being an easier thing to pull off with the monster because do we have silence in anyone's kit? I feel like Tack has it. And if they do,
I
just
think
place
Tack
silence
does.
on the monster's location. And then, you know, anyone that needs to do verbal spellcasting just stays the fuck away from it during the fight. And then any noise it makes isn't going to be coming through and will be problem solved as far as being stealthy for them. Harder thing to me for both situations is getting everyone there without getting caught. To be honest, that seems like the more challenging issue.
I will say this as well with the granary. It has the benefit of the mines as well because it's a little bit out of the way, and people are known to be killed there. So the subtlety there is mostly going to be about keeping it contained.
Yeah, you just can't let anyone run in that one. That's all.
How many? What's in there? Sorry, it's a
couple of
creepy
cultists,
monster,
a bone meal,
a beast,
and
a couple of
a creature.
Too.
and just a couple folks
Yeah, a
tending
couple
it.
folks that we'll probably just want to deal with immediately.
Yeah.
Decisively bad folks, to be clear, like
Cultists.
the bad ones, cultists.
Yeah, the beast itself will be easy to keep here because it's gonna want to fucking eat us. It's not gonna
it's
run.
not gonna be like, oh, I don't
yell.
know, that's the 6.
Wait, what if they did get a flyer though, and it's just like, oh my
these
god,
guys on
can
a
I get
flyer.
your signatures? These are so cool.
When is any monster in this game gonna go, oh fuck, it is the 6, and I don't think I want that heat right now, and get out of there, because it's not happened yet, Joe. And we're already halfway to 20.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's true.
Ochab will
That's true.
run. We'll be like, I'm sorry.
Our reputation does not precede us at all.
We're gonna be starting to get known as like the paranoid party.
Yeah, it's crazy. I met the 6 for 5 minutes the other day, and they asked
zone
me
of truth
15
me.
different times
Yeah.
who I was.
Zone of truth me, they decursed me and they called me a buffoon.
Me, idiot, for talking
made-
to them to begin with.
They made me show everything I had in my pockets. Like,
A kid comes up to you. Can you sign my 6 poster? Hey, who are you? Which change your name? Tell me, kid.
Time of Carlisle.
What's your true form, changeling?
Die, freak!
I cast the spell magic. I cast know the truth.
How is everyone not living like that in this shithole of a fucking house? Like, it's
Man. For real.
So, okay. With that said, then, are you setting off in the daytime to get to the granary? And / are you going to the tavern early?
we have to go. Sorry, I have a question because I wasn't here. We have to go through the sewers no matter what.
going
To
to the
get,
sewers no matter
Sewers
what.
is
No
your
matter where we
method
go.
into the city. Or into the
got
town.
it. So either way, it's sewers. It's just after sewers, go granary or tavern. Got it. Okay. Just want to double check.
You can come out and you
Sewers.
can go through the front gates, but that will come with questions.
Yeah, we're trying to.
We're super charismatic. Let's just try that.
Yeah, we're so charismatic. We're so stealthy. We've never had any problems with those specific 2 things.
Yes,
so,
yeah, I believe we expected. Can you just let us in? Thank you.
People know me.
Sam took his badge off, so everyone knows he's not a cop.
Yeah, I'm not a cop, dude. I'm not a cop.
So
What are you, a narc? You're a dread narc?
you
All right, let's go to the sewers.
you would head out on a side gate that's connected to the warehouses which you're in,
I bring lunch and dinner.
which would lead straight into the sewage of the area. You're immediately hit by the smell as you go through the kind of grate. Yeah, you can keep. You have to keep spamming it every time, every
we know.
6 seconds. You would pass by going across.
No, if you make something smell like something, it lasts longer.
Okay, well, I mean, you're probably going to need to keep spraying this because it is an unkept
coordinated.
town sewage. You pass through, walking along the side paths of kind of the cobbled areas next to the sewage water itself, going over one of the small bridges inside. It's kind of like the sewers in Oblivion. It's very much just kind of a series of little corridors leading underneath the town. You pass through. I need someone who is good at navigation. Give me a survival check. You can give them. You can kind of everyone can give away one.
Survival. Carlisle definitely knows navigation.
You can memorize where you're
Was there a
going, but
map
it's
at
not
all?
necessarily.
Can I just like?
No, there's no map.
Can I just remember?
You have not seen a map of the
someone
Will
sewers.
take
go.
help, but if it's a survival check, I should be the one doing it.
Yeah.
I'll help you, but I don't have.
19.
19. Yeah, it takes you a little bit of time, but not nearly as much as you'd expect. You've kind of using logic, pass through, go through certain grates and whatnot, going through old, unused portions of it. Where are you looking to come out of?
I want to come out near the granary, but we want to wait until it's nighttime on that side. So I think we want to post up the group near there either way.
Okay. You would post up the group. You'd also, with the 19, you'd know exactly which tunnels to take when you come out of here after the granary to get to the tavern, which actually conveniently would have a manhole pretty much right outside because it's it's near where the innkeeper, etc., would dump stuff. The granary's a little bit out of the way. It's not under the natural sewage. You get to the most eastern spot in the sewage, and you realize there's a good, like, probably few dozen houses just to the east of this, which aren't connected to the sewage, aren't kind of built into that. It's old town stuff. It's not where you'd find kind of toiletries and whatnot. You'd have to climb out here to get into that portion of the town. It is daytime.
Yeah, I don't think Carlisle's intention, at least, is to take anyone out of the sewer in a group until it's evening and we're moving to, like, objective. I think, honestly, the only one that's of any benefit to come out of during the day specifically is possibly the tavern, if we want to get a better idea of, like, rooms or where people are going. But that's more of like a just Carlisle, or like Carlisle and one other person thing, considering where is that manhole in regards
Yeah, how far
to, like,
away
the
is it?
street? Is this going to be Carlisle?
I would say it's at
opening
the
up
back.
a fucking manhole in the middle of a road.
Like,
No,
yeah,
I'd
like
say
in the middle
it's
of, like,
in
a
the
farmer's
it's an
market.
alleyway
You
nearby.
just-
It's clearly like they dump all of the toiletries and stuff down there, and like it's all kind of connected through a little bit of piping there. It's out to the side. It's on the kind of cheap aspect as well of they built the inn with the nicest rooms on the opposite side to that. So it's in one of the alleyways next to it.
Well, here's our stop for the granary then, but obviously we're not going to go do that until the evening. I was going to at least head over towards the inn and see if I can get us any more information before everything happens. Anyone that wants to come, I think I could probably get at least 2 people up there quietly to take a look around, but probably no more than that.
Can we see out at all from where we are? Like, I mean, even though we're in an alley, like.
Oh, you're not in it. You're in the sewers.
Or. Yeah, no, but I mean, but you said it wasn't like in the middle of like the town square that it comes out in. So like
that was
you know what I mean?
sorry.
Like,
That's the tavern one. This one that you're on, it's probably more central to the street.
Okay, and so is it just like a flat thing? Like we can't peek out at all? You know what I mean? Like it's just flush with a.
It's a grate.
Street.
It's a grate. It's flush with the street. But it's a grate. Like it's a visible. Like you can see through the grate because in this period of time they're just dumping stuff straight into it.
Okay, got it.
There'd be a ladder up pushing the grate outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we all thinking?
I have to be honest, I don't know that I want to try doing anything fancy because I need to conserve resources.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if anyone's going to be coming up to the surface during the day, probably me, maybe Desmond, if you can cast that fancy spell of yours, Desmond.
Yeah, I'd be able to.
One other person. But that's not going to be for fighting. That's going to be for looking around.
I was just thinking, how far are we from like where we're at to the tavern? Like, what if I sent Sestina under your shirt, and then I could just look through her eyes and memorize what was happening?
What's the furthest distance? 100 feet. You're well over 100 feet.
Yeah, we're well over it. That's what I thought.
You're on the eastern portion of the town. This is the tavern's like right in the center, north center.
Got it. Okay.
So
okay.
It's like a.
So there's
a
a bit of
15 minute walk.
navigation.
Yeah.
You could technically walk with us to the sewer exit and then use Sestina there, underneath the manhole.
That's true.
Yeah, is that? Sorry, that's more what I meant. If I do that there,
Yeah.
like if Sestina goes
the manhole
from
for that
there,
one
like,
is right next to the tavern.
Okay, so then if she can, right, so usually she's just kind of like stuck onto Andrasa. If she could like stick under your, shirt and peek her one little eyeball out.
Sensation. Do not like that at all.
She's like exactly body temperature. It's just...
I mean, if you'd like another body,
sorry.
I'm able to disguise myself the easiest.
That'd work. I mean, I'm just I think that it'd be beneficial for someone other than just me to also have an eye on where we're gonna be going.
You been? Just kidding.
My perfect skin. Bin. Is in the town that Bin is from. I just run into real Bin in the tavern. Wait a minute.
Oh, that'd be so amazing.
If you'd like to still use Sistina, I can carry her.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because then if I can look through her eyes, then I can try to like memorize, like, you know.
Yeah, that seems
the
beneficial.
layout, right?
Okay.
Okay. So is it just Carlisle and Tack, or is Desmond coming as well?
How confident do you think? I mean, how many stealth checks do you think we'll have to make?
Getting to the alley, probably not much. Getting like closer to the tavern, probably more.
It's a trade-off of we could boost stealth, but I'm also just not great at stealth in general because I think I have innate disadvantage.
I mean, we're technically also like, there's nothing that we're doing that is technically going to be enough for someone to be like, "Hey, fuck you, get over here!" Like right away.
Not doing anything illegal. We're just
it's not illegal
here.
to be on the streets. It's not. We're not during curfew right now.
Yeah. It might be more like a, "Hey, do I know you?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Than
And I think you two can disguise better than a robot.
Yeah, but I think you
I
have the charisma to like flag yourself out of a situation too, as well.
True.
Could put a duster on.
Would you just carry a glass and be like, "I'm just walking with a"?
That
It is a
raises
tavern.
questions.
I
That's
mean,
how
it's
people
more-
approach you.
it's-
I don't want
shit.
people to approach me.
It's more so
Okay,
up to you, Shayne, out of character. If you feel like there's anything that you can prep, if you've like seen the area.
Yeah, I think it would help me if I've seen it in character. Plan out where I would want to put traps too.
Okay. Then I think that's enough reason to try.
Then let's all go. Yeah, the three of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll take the bullet and put Sistina in my shirt.
I can do it. I can't feel the weird flesh blob.
Feel Sistina like melt off of you.
I got used to it for a second.
She hesitates.
Yeah, you'd be able to head through the sewage, going up underneath where the tavern is. You can hear like there's a moment where you just see it's daytime. The map, by the way, it's going to be in night just because it's built for you guys to find it more so. You would see as a kind of as you get closer, you just see a bucket get pulled down the ladder and kind of into the sewage. And it's just like old foods, rotten bits, along with some, you know, just any kind of toilet matter of everyone that's kind of in this inn. You can see them just kind of dumping it all, and you hear the person go in and as they close the door behind them. But the grate's not the most hygienic. It's definitely very much a case where you just pour the sewage down, just let it kind of flow in the water here. But you're underneath the sewage grate.
Okay, I'll head up first, make sure the coast is clear, and then I'll give you two the signal, all right?
We get a prestidigitate first so we don't smell like shit. That'll raise questions if you're up there and you just smell like someone shit on you, you know?
I can't cast prestidigitate, so I can't comment on that.
We're not too far, are we? I mean,
I thought Androssa was with us up to this ladder.
You just start to like, yeah, I was gonna
Tack can do
say,
it.
Tack feels Sistina start to, because I can cast through her, right? So
You- no.
Sistina starts prestidigitating Tack.
You could do that. You are with them because you're going to
you're
be
with us
underneath
to
the
this
tavern, right?
threshold.
Oh yeah, till this stage.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're
we haven't gone
just
yet.
remaining in the sewage. It's not going to be the
Sure.
nicest.
Then she's
can
like,
each
all
do
right,
two people.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, cleansing them all up.
And my game's just hanging out with like a cloth over her mouth.
Yeah, I figure everyone probably followed us to this point.
because there's no downside to it.
Yeah, why
There's no
not?
reason
Why
to
wouldn't we?
stay at the
If
other
it all goes
spot.
really bad, then yeah. Okay.
That
You.
never happens.
Who's climbing out of the
gonna be
sewage
fine.
first?
Carlisle.
Carlisle.
Okay. So you're gonna push out, open the grate. You'd be able to come out. I'm going to move on to a map now. Because Carlisle's
fat
technically
dudes with
seen
guns.
this map, you are going to see the layout immediately of the downstairs and the upstairs. But these aren't empty rooms. You're basically seeing the fog of war that you've already seen. Anytime you go past a window and stuff, I'll put anyone appropriate in there if the window is if it's transparent. So I'm going to move you to the map. You're going to be on the top left on this map.
Okay.
And let me move it here. The left side is the bottom floor. The right side is the top floor. Top left, you're going to see where the...
Is that the manhole cover or whatever?
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's my little manhole cover I made. It's very good.
Okay.
Twirls
Carlisle would
mustache.
Come out along the alleyway side.
Mm-hmm. These are the windows, by the way. Anything wooden there?
These here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, he doesn't see anyone. Like
There's no one outside.
immediately.
No. You would have heard if someone had gone through the door recently, but no one's there.
And this is the door that they came through?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, Carlisle will probably rotate this
Wait,
way.
where's
if
the
there's no
other
one
door? Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
here.
down the bottom. This is
And
the back.
He'll signal down in the manhole for them to come up.
And once again, it is
Back.
daytime. It's just a nighttime map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's bright side.
Tack will come out in their Billy Normal skin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Most normal looking man
default.
in the world. Yeah.
The default human man. Yeah.
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 There you are, normal lad. And then Carlisle reached down to help Desmond out as well.
So where should we avoid?
Well, as far as places we're gonna need to avoid,
Joe, where is there a lot of like the road is
Road is
this
going to be
is the
south.
main
Yes, yeah, that's the main
road.
path.
And these spots are both this is an alley, this is also an alley, but it's a little bit is this like another
This is very
building?
tight.
This
No, that's
I see.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like a border of the wall.
That's another
Additional
building,
building. Okay.
essentially just next door building. This is just a very tight alleyway, yeah, only a few feet wide.
Okay. Yeah, Carlisle will describe everything as he remembers it and like point out to it here in the alleyway. And probably like if there's no one in these alleys, he would probably walk with the group and kind of point out everything up to the second floors along these walls while avoiding the front
You'd see,
street. Is this like an alleyway where like it wouldn't be, he wouldn't really get squinted at too hard for just simply walking through it? Like kind of just like a side path kind of deal?
potentially, it's definitely more of a, it's between, you're gonna have another building on the other side, so it'd be like a separate like probably housing just behind you as well. So this is probably a 10-foot wide alleyway behind it. So you could pass through here if you're cutting around. Give me an insight check. This is kind of a city insight check.
30.
There is definitely an element of, it's a risky maneuver to do if guards are looking. Normal people probably wouldn't sell you out, but some people would be like, why is that person sneaking through the back alleys, kind of thing. But it wouldn't be seen as out of place in a normal city just at the moment in this one, because there's a curfew, because there's a very much a paranoia around rebellions. Anyone who's walking through kind of areas that aren't super open might be at the look of suspicion. But only by the guard.
So it's actually arguably less suspicious to be in the road if we don't think people are going to recognize us for who we specifically are.
And I'll give an element of the road does have a lot of like just commoners and stuff walking along. These are just the ones I use for commoners. So you get a lot of just commoners who are kind of walking by and kind of like passing by the tavern and whatnot in the day. So there'll be an element of people on the streets.
I mean, we could pass without trace and just kind of blend into the crowd in the road and kind of like take a proper look
that's what I was thinking.
I think that's a good idea.
Because I don't want to be in this alley if it looks like we're going to get like spotted for that alone.
Agreed.
Just remember, like, the further you are from the alley, if something goes wrong, it's going to take us longer to get to you.
Yeah, I don't know unless someone actually straight up recognizes us. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to get caught for, where something's going to go so wrong that we can't solve it quickly and get out. Right. So I think Carlisle would lead them to the front, and we'd go into sneaky mode.
Okay.
Not like
That's choice.
deliberately sneaking, but like just kind of blending.
Yep.
Blend mode.
As you move along, I'll kind of show anything you walk past.
Yeah, he'd point to like where the penthouse was and where basically he saw everything. He just lists down like this is where I saw this person, this is where this person was.
Okay.
Where's the garden like equivalent for this?
I would say around here, near the kind of bit here. You can see some seating around here in general. So it seems less frequented. They definitely kind of sat by the back of there, and it seems like it's mostly used for staff, I would say, who kind of want to sit down and have a drink themselves.
Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking we go in from the back and the front at the same time.
Okay.
So no one can get out once we start. Desmond, is there anything we can do about the window situation?
Well, it seems like there's a lot more than I have trap capabilities. Is the problem.
Yeah.
And Carla, I'll give you. So if you want to zoom out, I'll give you pings for like where you generally saw people and what we're converting them to. The bar area where you saw the crab man is obviously the bar here. This is where he'd probably make the most noise. You obviously saw Otab and Yolvik outside.
But no one's outside currently.
No one's outside currently. No. You can make little. I'll make little markers if you want on the map with freehand. I'll just draw a little kind of red crosses. So this is a location where you saw the crab man. Down here would have been where you saw the older man. He's on his own kind of private spot in the corner. The others, which you had seen, the penthouse is now going to be this bottom, this one here, on the right side. And then the opaque kind of hard to see in room would be the one over for the far right, over here.
Okay.
And that should be everyone, right? Yeah.
And the rest of the rooms in this area, then you would say Carl thought was really unremarkable. When he was like checking the area.
Yeah, you would have looked at it. It doesn't look like many people are staying. You might have seen like maybe one or two commoners who keep them to themselves, but it looks like this inn has mostly been. You would have definitely seen. Also, you saw a few like mercenaries around, and maybe you would have seen one or two of those in the rooms. It's mostly just been kind of hired out for this group, with a couple of occasional people who come in who've already probably paid for rooms, but keep to themselves. Nothing remarkable, and clearly common by their clothing and whatnot, and just kind of keeping their heads down.
Well, that gets us a visual at least. I definitely agree. I think it's harder for Desmond to do much of anything with it being this big of a thing. So I think we have to go with Indrasa's plan specifically for quieting the situation. Just hope that that's enough.
So obviously, if you choose a room, like the big main room, I'm going to take the equivalent size and put it on the other one. So if you don't want any jutting bits, we're basically just going to draw a square around it, and you'll see. So you could, for example...
But at least now Indrasa knows the actual shape of the place, so they can actually like...
You could do like this, for example, and it would do the exact same spot.
It wouldn't be bad.
Up here. That technically would pop out as well, though, because of the balconies.
Yeah, we might just have to deal with the guards on the road, but I think that's relatively. It's as good of a plan as we're gonna get. Like, we're not gonna get a better one. The only other thing that I could imagine might benefit us at all is not knowing who's in that room. I don't know if there's a possibility if Carlisle peeks through this window.
Because if that person steps out, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because there will just be
and also they might be
right?
really fucking crazy. We don't know who it is. It's like
true.
that stresses me out a tiny bit. I'm like,
could I? Do I want to use the spell slot? I could clairvoyance into that room.
it was that, or I could try to see if there's if there's something in this back room. I do feel like I could sneak into it during the day and get it.
Which back room, sorry?
Desmond's bonus. If there was a ledger of oh, this is the people that are staying
Kitchen
at the
room.
inn.
Oh, right.
Get it quick.
Jim is in room 4 and Sally is in,
If there was a ledger,
I
it'd probably
don't
be
feel
there.
like I'm not entirely convinced that a wanted criminal would give their full their real name or their criminal name or anything other than an alias anyway, so I don't think that would really have much mileage. So If you want to cast a spell, that might be the best option we have to find out if there's anyone that we don't know before otherwise probably really dangerous fight.
I'm happy to cast clairvoyance into this room that you didn't get a good look at so that we know exactly what we're dealing with.
Yeah, Carl, I'll point out the spooky room.
Okay.
I will use clairvoyance. I will make a little thingy, a little
little thingy?
invisible thingy.
Okay.
Mhm. I'll use sight first.
Your sight in that room would show you a give me like a perception check as you kind of put it in there. Give you all the details.
Okay. Come on, idiot.
Can I provide help by describing like anything like to look for in this room?
Feels great.
I'm gonna say no because you got a nat 1 to perceive in that room, so your perception of this room in general is gonna be off. So there's not much you can really help with description, which probably makes it a little bit more difficult as well.
Room, Joe. I've got a little eyeball in there. It's a small
You
room.
do.
You telling me I can't see what's in
You
there?
can see.
You just faced it towards the wall by mistake. Just turn it. Can you just
I
rotate?
don't see anything.
You will see stuff because clairvoyant just works regardless. This is for seeing details. So you're not going to see any clear signs.
I was like, man, you wasted a whole spell just to not
Bro,
see through
if
the
I was
eyeball.
about to be like, there's definitely someone in there. You just can't tell.
Where?
Bathrobe
Well,
is
here's
right
the thing.
there.
Here's what that one's going to do.
Okay.
It's where you put the clairvoyants. You place it in this room. They've got their back to you. And they're kneeling.
Okay.
All you can see from them is their humanoid and figure. Slender.
They're tying their
They're wearing a
shoes.
hood up, and it's kind of back to you. And they're cradling something in front of them. The things that are very obvious to see in this room are a series of strung up animals, rabbits, foxes, rats they've kind of got, that they've cut open. They've let the blood drip on the ground.
Like ritual style?
Yes. Whoever's in this room is ritualistic. You can see them cradling something in their hands, but you don't know what it's cradling. Like, you just can see that they've cupped their hands together. So you can see their room in general, and you can see that they... and I'd say also you see they've kind of almost torn their bed across, and they've put it near them, so they don't really... They're not sleeping on the kind of bed. They're uncomfortable by that. They've placed it on the floor nearby them in the center of the room, a bit away from all of the kind of the ritualistic behavior, but it looks like they've kind of turned this into a ritual chamber.
What do I hear if I swap to hearing?
Give me a perception check. They are
I'm bad at those. Can I investigate?
This would be perception.
Fine. It's fine. A 10.
They're quiet. They're whispering. You hear them kind of pulling apart like viscera. And they're feeding something in their hands. That's what you can hear. You can't hear their
Okay.
whisperings.
I'll pass that along to everybody.
We could try to get to turn them around. If you two head around the corner, I could try to throw like a pebble at the window. Might get it to move enough for you to see something on the face.
Don't want us to disrupt anything.
I have a...
Or we're ready.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. I have a question, but I'll ask it later.
I think we have enough.
Carl, I'll start heading back unless one of you two has something else here.
We'll head back with you, buddy.
Okay. So heading back to meet the others, you'd arrive back underneath where the granary and area is. Well, not technically the granary, but just before the old town.
Okay. Only other thing really to cover is if there's any extra steps we want to do to try to keep the fight in the granary quiet. I don't know if we have a way to, like, any spells for that, or if we're just going to bank on loud is okay because it's normal out there.
I think loud might be right? We just sort of take out anybody who can run first, so they don't.
I got rid of silence, fortunately.
It always comes up when suddenly no one
I
has
know,
it.
right?
It
No
never
one has
comes up
it.
when everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take it out because we've never needed it, and then suddenly it's like shit.
I think I still have it. I still have it.
It's good for this specific kind of situation where an unintelligent-ish creature presumably won't really understand enough to avoid something like that, right?
Right.
Did anyone do a clarb check?
Yes,
I mean,
they
I
did.
know that we know that
Yes.
Kios was in.
I did
What
one
did we
quite
see?
recently.
They did
We
one
did a
last
climb
night.
I meant
He
like
was
when we
resting.
got.
when we met Zonia.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
He was sleeping.
oh, bless his little soul.
Yeah,
Did he look
Kios
like a
was having
little angel?
nappus
Yeah, he was
wappus.
napping.
Yeah.
Was he smiling? Just like. All right.
I don't think we got like that many intimate details about like his general state.
Got a little binky. Okay.
Okay. What are you doing? Waiting here till night?
I think, yeah. In the
Okay.
stinky sewer.
Mm.
Any last bits of prep? Would be now the time. Otherwise, we're going to be entering to the segment of the.
How long would we be waiting here in the sewer?
I mean, you
Like
technically,
hours?
yeah, probably about 6 hours,
Fair
7
bit.
hours.
Would that be enough time to work on a new cloak of protection just for one more person?
Yeah.
Nasty
Now that
sewer
you're
cloak?
super good at it, yeah, bitch. It's just
Cloak of
baked right in there.
protection.
I'd say 'cause you didn't go with them to spare. Yeah, you could probably get one done. One done, yeah.
I
Well,
will
it'll smell like shit, so I'm sorry.
I will cast
it's permanent.
aid on Morgane, Carlisle, and V.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What was the roll thing we did to make these?
1d100.
How much is 8 again? 10?
5.
HP increased by 5.
83.
5 HP. 16. This thing smells like shit and looks like it too.
What do you make
you-
that?
I'm just picking up like toilet paper to patch it in. And
No.
It's
Don't touch Desmond, don't touch that.
It is a standard
I
one.
think that would just
You-
disintegrate, dear.
So you made an uncommon one. So it's the standard cloak protection, but it doesn't have a curse in it. You did beat the curse roll, so you're good there.
Should
Hey.
it should have a fucking curse on it. I'm
Right?
permanently make you stink.
Below that, I mean, I would say the curse is 1 to 14, so it was close.
Oh, so I barely made it.
Yeah, it was close.
That was close.
Does anybody think they need this?
I don't want to wear
I've
that.
I've got one already, dear.
I'm
Really
all
help you in
full
dire
up,
situations.
Maybe if you make one that doesn't, wasn't made in a sewer outlet, Desmond, I'd be happy to wear it.
Anyone want my sewer cloak?
Can I just, if I wear it because it smells bad, can I get an extra plus? Can they stack?
I mean,
Can it stack
I'll
with
tell you
my
this,
existing
you
one?
can get
so I
this.
plus 2.
You have a disadvantage of stealth checks until you clean it from
Then
people.
I prestidigitated, so then I'm fine.
Yeah, prestidigitate it.
And then I
right?
have plus 2 AC and saving throws because I have 2 cloaks.
That's you
Can I
can't.
tie
do
You
one
can't
around my-
stack them. Yeah, can't stack
That's
them.
what I said. Can I stack it? Because
Oh, I see. No, yeah, no stacking.
It's just fucking unacceptable that Desmond made us a sewer cloak and then thought someone. I'm just gonna be honest. It's crazy. He could have done it
That's
anything.
useful.
In the toilet, and then it was
we
like, I
would've-
don't want this.
By the way,
anything else
I just want you guys to know.
before that, because like
He sat
would
there
know.
for like 8 hours just working on something secretly, being like, "You guys are gonna want this," and he brings it out, and everyone
They're
goes,
gonna
"No."
love
oh,
this.
buddy.
And everyone just goes,
what,
I'll save it
Yeah, I'm
for
good.
I'm
later,
sure
I guess.
that you could sell it at Master Van Vo's shop or something. It's
Yeah.
it's just I've already got one.
I just wish you'd asked before you started making it all the way for the last 8 hours, because I would have told you then that I couldn't wear it. Really, I just don't think I have space
I
right
think
now.
do you know what?
And,
I'm
I probably should
sorry.
have asked if anybody could wear it. I wasn't.
well, hey, it's something to sell if you can
It is.
buff the smell out, and that's then taken
I'm-
care of. Nice and
I'm
easy.
sorry that we just saw you working really hard and we didn't, think to ask what you were working on. We sort of just let you.
It was still
go.
fun to make it. It'll make it easier next time I make something, I guess. I guess I'll practice in.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's really nice.
No, it's not.
Tack looks at Andrasa like, what the fuck are you lying for?
I just felt like the thing to say. It does smell quite awful, Master Desmond.
Yeah. It's just like if I made medicine down here, no one would want to use it. That's all I'm saying. It's just the same kind of situation.
Made you this potion.
Other than
Let's see where.
other than the sewer cloak, what anything else anyone's prepping before we get started with the?
We're doing granary first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The sanctum does take 10 minutes to cast, so we'll need to I need to do that. We should do the granary quietly so that I can have the time to cast that.
Okay.
Battle mode on.
Are we hitting both these in the same day?
Oh, you have to hit them
same
both.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
We have to
So everyone
immediately.
just be mindful of that with your resources.
And be mindful that after we're done hitting this, there's more. So
Yes.
like,
You are in
be
one night.
really careful with resources.
You're gonna have an option here. You have one short rest between the two. But the gatehouse, there was no short rest between it. Take a short rest, you're gonna lose the gatehouse. So you got one fight short rest, then two fights.
Okay.
However you aim to do it.
depending on if we're.
We say however you aim to do it, but you just told us there's only one way to do it.
Well, I mean, the option is.
We'll
I
know
mean,
which one
you
we
can.
do first.
Choice is yours.
If you, yeah, I mean, when the fight kicks off, you kind of, you can choose if you want to go. Obviously, you're choosing the granary first, so. But you don't have to have the short rest between. But you will have time
I
for
mean, I
one.
will take. I would like one.
Yeah, we just have to be quiet enough to do it.
In which case, the sun goes down. The night sky comes up. I'm gonna ask for another roll. 1 is starry night. 2 is a cloudy day. 3 is very foggy, and 4 is raining. Different obscuring sounds, etc. Who would like to do the
Wants to
default?
do our weather roll.
Not me. I'm always bad at those. At any random roll, I'm terrible.
Rolled the worst one last time, so I don't want
That's
to
true.
do
You
it.
did.
I can do it.
It can't be tomato.
D4.
Yes, please.
Let's go, baby.
Oh,
It is a starlit
Why?
night. Meaning your stealth checks
Guys, I'm
tonight
fucking cooked, man.
will
I'm
be
cooked.
a lot harder.
what are you cooked about, dude?
Dude, when a delivery guy tells you what your code is before you get to tell him what your code he was just like, this is your code, yeah? And I was like, oh fuck. That's
Dude.
how you know you've ordered too much food. I was like, yeah, that's my code. Thanks, man.
Rip.
Have we lost Dodger?
Okay.
I think we slightly lost.
Did we lose Dodger?
Slightly. They're in the call.
Like, camera down? Do I need to go up
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I'm
Well, they're
sure.
not saying anything, which makes you feel like something blew up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go
Shit,
check.
second floor of tavern.
Hello?
Hey, there you go. You get
Don't
Was
say
he
anything.
coming
Act
in?
like
Yeah,
it's
hide.
Act like it's broken.
Um,
Oh my god.
so you are all waiting until nighttime. The grate is above you. How do you proceed?
Out the
We're
grate.
gonna need to. I
If
feel
you're,
like,
if you're all out at once, it's gonna be stealth checks. That's what I mean.
well, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to stealth check either way, I think, unless we find some way to sneak ourselves out. But yeah, Carlisle's gonna come out first, I guess, and get a look at the area.
Give me a stealth check.
Oh
I'd
boy.
love to. 29.
Peer out the grate. As a guard. Walking away from you. Down the road.
Hey.
Back to you at the moment. He's probably just passed by the grate about 20 seconds ago. Looks like his patrol path is going to be much further down. The curfew's clearly in. The old
Okay.
town doesn't seem frequented by as many guards. It doesn't seem like it has as many residentials, so you can see there's no guard on the other side. The old town portions are all like a few houses here and there, old kind of timber houses, some old brick ones with kind of almost overgrown elements to it. You can see a couple of warehouses to the side, and you can see where the granary must be a few further down, which you know to be. So you're going to have to get through a couple alleyways here, maybe pass by one more patrol.
Okay. Does Carlisle see a point to like send everyone to that's like well out of the way, like when they get out of the grate to like point to?
Yeah, I'd say about 30 feet away is one of the alleyways through the old town.
All right, Carlisle's going to start signaling people to come up one at a time so we can help them all individually with any checks that they're doing.
Okay.
I'll also pass without trace.
Okay, pass without trace goes off. Everyone roll a stealth check as you come out.
You have advantage.
You have advantage.
I'll
and a
rage
plus 10.
so that I roll this as a strength check.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear for a lot of that. Or what are we rolling?
Stealth check.
Stealth at
You're going to have an
Stealth.
advantage, and you have a plus 10 to the roll.
And plus 10.
Wait, are you raging me?
Yeah,
No.
because I get advantage, or I get
Yeah.
I can make ability checks using my strength instead for stealth.
Okay, we have no long rests for 3 fights though.
I mean, we're going to be fine because we're going to get there in 10 minutes, right, Joe?
Yeah, I was
We're
gonna rage.
our
I can
destination
maintain my
regardless.
rage.
Yep.
I'll slap
really-
myself around.
Reopening that
grumpy on the
wound on your
walkover.
hand, V.
Slapping
She's so
myself
grumpy, dude.
around.
The way you can
I'm
picture...
rolling no advantage, but I'm just rolling
That
normal.
was
You'd be
bad.
rolling
Flat
normal
one.
with
Yeah.
a plus 10.
23.
Plus 10.
I can also add
Oh.
even more to it for anyone that
Oh,
needs
another
it,
nat 20 as well. Okay, so we've got a 30 for Andrassa, a
30.
nat 20 for 34 total for Tack, 23 for V, a nat 20, 22 for Desmond, push up to a 32, and then Morgaine with a 26. You are all dead stealthy in the night as you slip over across the street towards the back alleys.
Bro, John
That's
T
healthy.
pose. That skin, those numbers.
You'd be able to pass through the back alleys of Old Town until there's only one more street left. You see the double doors of the granary, the mill. You can see it kind of churning inside. You can hear it from the outside. It's very... It's kind of definitely grinding something inside. One guard is on the street. I roll to see what he's doing. I rolled a 2 on the 20, so he's probably stood over to the side, completely back-faced you, bored. He's placed down his little lantern on the side, and he's taking a piss into like a bush. It is dark, like he's blocking out the illumination
Sam?
there, blocking you guys off. Guard's kind of, he takes off his helmet as well, he just pushes it down to the side. He's just peeing into a bush, just waiting. You guys are clear.
How
Men.
close is this guy to the granary?
The road here is probably about 25 feet wide. He's on the side closest to you, about 15 feet away from you, so he's about 25 feet away from it.
His
Yeah,
life
it's
really
okay.
depended on him being farther away from that granary, I'm afraid, because I feel like we need to get rid of this guy. He will be a concern.
He
when
can't
we're in
pee
a fight.
forever. So,
Well, he's eventually going to patrol back here.
yeah.
And then he's going to hear whatever's going on in there unless we perfectly execute silence in there, which, frankly, I don't feel too great about. We might need to knock this guy the fuck out, at the very least.
Imagine
Kinda like
getting
a
knocked
normal
out while
guard.
you're peeing.
Yeah, he looks like a normal street guard.
Just falls right into it.
If you're gonna knock someone out, dude, while I'm peeing,
His
Like
guard
one of
has
the best
never been
times.
lower. Carlisle is-
So gross.
I'm just gonna knock this one out. I don't feel good about doing it while they piss, but it's that or they notice while we're fighting.
He's just like looking at the stars.
Most vulnerable time for anyone.
And Carlisle starts
Feels
pulling his-
really bad.
And just make sure he doesn't
I'm-
fall back, otherwise. Oh.
Hey, a problem.
Falls right into the pee,
So
dude.
he's by like a wall, like where if
Yeah.
he were to flop in the correct direction, he would just be in the dark anyway.
Yeah.
Like essentially. Okay. Yeah, I'm sneaking, so I can, even if I miss, I can continue to attack from Skulker until I make my hit. So I'm just gonna start firing with my shot, and he'll never notice. He'll never notice arrows whizzing by his head. 22.
Does hit him though.
So that's gonna be 26. I'm gonna be trying to knock him out with this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put a D8 in
Okay.
of knockout damage. That's gonna be 28.
Yeah.
Sleep.
29.
29.
Just falls down flat onto the side.
Yeah, Carlisle's very quick to cross, tie them up, gag them, so they can't talk, and then drag them somewhere like quietly.
Yeah, you can put them straight in the alleyway. They're
Like
nearby.
anyone, like not a walking
dumpster.
path.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'll signal to the others to cross.
You have the double doors of the mill right in front of you.
Should we knock?
What?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a code? What do we do?
The only other thing that we could, I don't know, it depends on if we want to get the jump on anyone in there. I could climb up to that window again, try to shoot at anyone on the inside, or we just charge in. All you.
It wouldn't be a bad idea for you to take out as many as you can before they notice.
Okay. First thing Carlisle's going to do, though, I do want to try to quietly check the front gate to see if it's locked.
Oh yeah, that would be
Just thinking that, like, what if it, I was just thinking that, what if it was locked from like the
It'd
inside?
be so embarrassing.
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Just like a giant bar across it.
10.
It's the DC set then, because it's just the standard easy one. You can see that there usually is a bar. They don't keep it locked.
Okay.
It's not a wild animal in there. Is what you can perceive from that.
How? Sorry, did we know how big it is? Is it like?
Oh yeah, this is bigger than
massive?
the creature or this warehouse. The warehouse is a bit bigger than the tavern.
Oh yeah, no, the creature I meant. Is it like a?
It's huge in size, so it's
okay.
The size of just kind of like a. It's very big.
Yeah.
It's very big. Okay.
All right. Yeah, Carlisle will go up to the window and check to see if he still sees those cultists.
I will say the window's going to be a bit of a climb on the outside, up like some like vinery and stuff. Oh, you can fly. Of course you can.
Yeah, I can fly. It's not graceful,
It's quite a tall
fly.
building. I'd say about like overall, like through all of the kind of like extra ramparts and stuff, it goes up to the thing. This is probably about 30 feet off the ground. The windows looking down, they're kind of a little bit old. There's foliage growing over. People haven't really opened them. Also dust on the windows. It doesn't really look like they're as easy to open from the outside, but they can be done with a thieves' tools check.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
This DC is just a little higher.
24.
Which is enough. Open up the window. And I'm going to put you onto the map, and I'll show you where you kind of are. You're now seeing the inside.
Ooh.
If you want to put yourself here, this is kind of where the windows are. They're kind of gleaming down, if you see. So, kind of be where the shard of light is here and there. Yeah. So you can see there's two cultists inside. You can see one here who's using a shovel to basically shovel up any of the kind of bone matter that's been ground down. And there's another one over here who's kind of lifting up bones and just tossing them in there.
Oh, if V is gonna, I saw V pop in for a minute. If V wants to follow,
I don't know if I
to the other
should.
window,
Yeah. Do you
Carlisle
want
would
me
help
to?
you sneak up there. Yeah, I'd probably have you go to the one that's closer to.
Because I figured if
the
we can
window.
both
If you went to
fly.
northern window, you could close the gap. With that
Okay.
one.
You would need to open the other one
Yeah.
as well, Fura, if you can roll another thieves.
Yeah, Carlisle will do both.
Awesome.
Okay.
Other thieves
Yeah,
tools.
both windows are closed.
Since I got the stealth covered anyway, so yeah. Oh.
Okay.
All right. Carlisle's gonna aim at this one and then signal to V, because we've done many now synced up stealth maneuvers.
Yeah.
He'll signal to you to just attack on his mark.
Okay.
Essentially the one there. But before that, can Carlisle spot from this window where the creature is?
Give me a perception check.
23.
Ooh, can I also try to hear its heartbeat if it's within 30 feet?
You can. It's not within 30 feet. You above where this kind of cogwheel is on the ceiling, you can see it above there. Just up against the wall. I'll show you what its art looks like once we get started.
Oh, freak.
You can see it's up against the wall about 10 feet off of where that is, kind of in the darkness.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't about to have like V charge and just get grabbed by a giant fucking monster and hauled away.
Coast is clear.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna shoot at this one.
Go for it.
19.
19 hits.
for 22 damage.
He drops down dead.
Oh, perfect.
Should I be trying to range this one, or should I just go?
I was assuming you just charge in and get him.
Okay, I'll charge it.
Because either way, you want to be first person in the room.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Do I hear any heartbeats within 30 feet that I, for some reason, can't see or anything like that besides
No.
Carlisle?
I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
little light red out aura as well,
Okay.
which you'll be able to see in a second. Which will Oh, you do. So you do. You get this, guys. You can see his veins
Yeah,
coursing through
okay.
there.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I'll go up behind him and recklessly attack.
Okay, you
Swing my
swing
great
that.
sword.
Go for it.
Unnatural 20.
Do the roll.
18 damage.
It's covered in his blood as he drops down dead. V,
Okay.
as you've entered into the area doing this, I need you to do a stealth check for me. Same with you, Carlo, technically, because it's to see if this creature sees the assassination.
Let's
believe in you.
go.
Not
Oh
20.
boy.
You're perfect. You don't have a +10 to this, V,
Nat 20.
but you're good. The creature hasn't seen your attack. Both of you are safe.
Okay. I'm scared.
Okay. Then Carlisle's gonna signal to the others, and I think he's gonna open up with one shot at this creature from cover one more time.
Okay. Signal to the others just before you do your thing. Then, what are the others doing?
Sorry, where's the? Oh, the door
Bottom.
is this the
south.
door?
You guys are 25 feet away from the door,
Got it. Okay.
so the door is actually on 30.
Okay. And do we have to do another stealth check? Or no?
No,
Do we have
guard's
to, sorry,
gone.
do we have to do another?
This is essentially
Alright,
to see
so
when this fight
this
begins.
is-
Do you want to be on the map? Do you want to be off the map? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Aren't we trying to do this quietly? Don't we want to be like there so that we can get in the door and?
I'm not sure how to get everyone in. Like, the guards are gone. Someone
Right.
needs to go into the building. Like, you guys have to go in regardless. My logic was we start the fight in here. You guys come in when the monster is now recognized. Someone else on the other side, and close the door behind you, and then start fighting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So don't we need to be by the door if we're 30 feet away?
Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
are by the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can go-
That's what I just assumed.
We'll
So
take
put
a
yourselves
second
on the map.
Sorry, I
all the way
thought.
up to the door.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
rest-
Yourselves on the map here at the bottom. You know, waiting outside the doorway. Carlisle, you can take your shot at the creature.
27.
Hits.
That's going to be 24 damage. And this is a room with not many windows. This is my best opportunity to do it. To something and actually do full damage. I'm going to put all 5 charges of my bow into it as well and do another 5d8. Is this
Okay.
an undead, Joe?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to add another 5d8 to this. That was
Nope.
5d8. 24. So an extra 24 on top. So that's
So-
48 damage open.
48 damage opening. You strike straight through one of the heads. You see it split open, and just this kind of visceral white blood drops to the ground. And you hear it go. As all these kind of different ones just start waking up, and you see it drops down onto the cogwheel, and you see all of these changelings that have been kind of coalesced and merged together.
Huh?
As this creature
Oh
my God.
dude.
falls down,
Epic.
ready to fight. And that's where we're going to leave tonight's episode with you guys, about to battle
damn.
the changeling mass. Which, to give you guys an idea, you nearly fought this creature a while ago. The chandelier inside the Youthbringers area, if you'd started the fight there, would have dropped down and turned into that thing. So that
Ew.
is what you have to look forward to next time.
Woof.
But thanks everyone for playing. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll dive into the battle for Songrest next week. Let's go and do some shout-outs and whatnot and get started with that. So we'll go around from Dodger's side. Dodger, do you want to tell us where they can find you and all that good stuffs?
Yes. Hi guys. You can find me at hello. You can find me at Dexbonus on pretty much everything. I stream, and I have no idea what I'm gonna play. The last thing that I played last week, it was all horse girls. So who even knows what's going on this week?
That was
I don't know.
Sick.
That was very horse girly.
It was very horse girly last week. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sam Strippin.
Yo, Twitch Strippin. I'm not here tomorrow though, because I'm hanging out in London with you.
That's true. We're gonna go see 28 years later
Fun.
on the hottest day of London. It
Oh,
is.
Jesus. Well, movie theaters have AC, right?
That's true. It's,
Enjoy, boys.
it's hottest 30
that's-
minutes before we get there. That's
AC
right.
doesn't fix the smell, but we'll
That's true.
me, Joe, and
Cool.
Benji, we're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be
Good luck.
Tamto.
Why don't you ever let me start with my outro thing? What if I have something good at the beginning and then
All right, next week I'll let
And
you
then
start.
it just gets like weaned out slowly.
Sorry, next week
I
I'll let
don't
you
have
start.
anything right now, but I might have.
You would have had it
if you
there.
put me
Okay,
on
that makes
the
sense.
spot fast.
Twitch.tv/tomorrow.
Because I get really shy the more time passes.
I can see it. I see you gulping every time someone goes by. It's really audible. Bree.
It's hard. It's rough.
Hi. I'm Bree Bun. I played through Near Replicant for the first time ever and got all the endings and sobbed
Sick.
my eyes out. Yeah, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be studying up on Drakengard lore on stream, and then on Tuesday we're gonna start Automata. So
Oh, sick.
excited. Yes.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Mr. Shayne.
Hi, I'm Shayne. As to what
Hi,
I'm
Shayne.
doing, I'll never tell.
Okay. Cool. I'm like, then keep your secrets.
So
No, I'm not.
mysterious.
I'm not doing anything today. Tomorrow I will be doing a stream. I'm gonna tell because it's fucked. I'm gonna be testing some stuff in the new 7 days update.
I've been waiting for you to say that. It's been killing me. I wanted to message you and be like, Shane, did you try it? What's going on?
I'll be playing permadeath on the hardest difficulty with a blood moon every night with max zombies
You're
on the
such
blood
a
moon, and
masochist.
it'll be fun.
You're such a masochist.
Crazy man.
Meanwhile,
gotta
he's
see
just
how
got
it
elastic
feels.
bands in his arm. He just keeps pulling them between the nights.
He's just trying to feel something, man.
Yeah, he really is. Oh, gee.
Hi, I'm OLG. This is Pip. I think she's melting.
Aw.
Sometimes I do stuff on the internet. Dude, they can actually hear that licking noise. It's so gross. Please
Gross.
Stop. It's so gross.
I thought that was Sam.
Sometimes I do stuff on the internet.
I was looking at the same
He
time.
was. I don't know. I chat on Saturdays and stuff, and the week after next is the book club, I think. Now, because it's after
Sick.
4th of July. So finally,
Yay, bless
now my
you.
brain is better. Bless you.
Bless you.
We can do book club. So I'm excited.
yeah.
I still don't
Awesome.
know how to run one.
Do you know
but
what
we're
book you're
gonna do
doing?
it. I do.
Could you say? Because then people could preemptively start
It's kind
reading,
of the
right?
purpose of book club is to
Know the
Oh
book.
no, I mean I would tell them. It's just that because you asked, we you know.
Okay, I'm
I'd
just
already
Are you gonna
read
read it,
a
people could
while
read
ago,
it
you're
now
not
and then
gonna-
they come
you
and
don't
join in.
read.
We know you
Yeah,
can't read.
it's
It's not for me.
It's
I don't know why you're asking.
it's
what
That's
you
not
make
for
us
me.
read,
The-
Joe. You literally
Not
can't
for
read.
you, dude. Like,
It's the first book in the Skullman series by Naomi Novik. I think the first one's called A Deadly Education, but I could be wrong because it's been a long time since I looked at it.
I
Sick.
have
It is a
that.
deadly.
I
Yeah.
have that. I know. I
Bree,
should
really
read
good.
it.
Bree, please.
Yeah.
Dr. Reddit
Aren't you
is
glad I
right.
asked?
It's
Aren't you
still on
glad
my
I asked?
shelves.
See?
I should read it finally.
Yeah. When they have an excuse. There's a Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes, !Patreon, shows you all different monsters and stuff like that. This one will pop up at some point along with a bunch of all of the different characters that they can combat off of the Dread Vault list. Otherwise, we'll be back with episode 73, the Battle for Songrest, as this party takes over the town. And then it's going to be a big old castle dungeon crawl as you finally confront Chaos. So we'll get to that very soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for playing. And we'll see you next time for episode 73. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.